We got a big amount of variety. We got continuing playthroughs, concluding playthroughs. But if you're starting up, like we got a good mix of pretty much everything.
The Doodle Craft in here. What a crappy life. The Doodle Craft in here. What a crappy life. The Doodle Craft in here. A little bit. The Doodle Craft in here. Oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, whoa. The Doodle Craft in here. A little bit. What a crappy life. The Doodle Craft in here. Oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, whoa. The Doodle Craft in here. The Doodle Craft. The Doodle Craft in here. The Doodle Craft. A little bit. The Doodle Craft in here. The Doodle Craft. The Doodle Craft in here. The Doodle Craft. The Doodle Craft in here. The Doodle Craft. The Doodle Craft in here. The Doodle Craft.
All right, what is going on, everyone? DSP and PPP here, and welcome to another edition of Smark, guys, our ongoing pro wrestling commentary show for February 11th, 2025, episode 6. This week we'll be talking about Monday Night Raw and some interesting WWE releases and acquisitions. PPP, how you doing this week?
Well, the Raw was fucking shit, Phil. It fucking sucked. You know, I've tried. I was really being lenient on this company, you know, Phil. Fuck it, you know, I'm like, oh, it's on Netflix. It's a new era. We have to give it a chance. We have to be good, positive wrestling fans and support the company. No! It's time to fucking lay down the law that this shit fucking sucks dick through a fucking straw. And the road to WrestleMania is fucking ruined. WrestleMania this year shaping up to be a fucking disastrous shit show, Phil. And I'm sick of trying to pretend that it's good. It's not fucking good. This shit's still fucking lame, phony, jabroni nonsense for children. It insults the intelligence. The botching this week was fucking unbelievably bad.
I'm glad you agree with me because that was the major note. The major note.
Retarded Oos. Wahoo! It's me, Oos. The Rock owns the company now. and everybody who's even slightly fucking related to something that came out of The Rock's testicle is now the fucking main event. Fuck this shit, Phil. Fuck this shit. It's trash.
Basically, first of all, if you guys can't tell, we are going to talk about pro wrestling as a major focus of the show. That has been our big feedback that we received over the last couple of weeks, is that a lot of nonsense up front takes you guys too long to get to the wrestling commentary. So we're starting off the show talking about Raw this week. And
we're not going to have Phil show his underwear at the beginning of every show. Maybe next week. I don't know.
Well, I'll still grill. I'll still be grilled, perhaps, but
let's still grill Phil, but we'll do it like all the way through the show, I guess. There won't just be a dedicated grill Phil or whatever. I don't know.
So in regards to Raw, like definitely this week, out of all the weeks we've watched it, now it's been 6 weeks, right? This one was sadly kind of the deflation episode. And what I mean by that is when we started this show 6 weeks ago, it was the big relaunch of Raw on Netflix, and everyone was hopeful. Oh, this is it, the new era for WWE, and their ways are going to change and all this new stuff. The production values were off the charts. I mean, hell, it looked like WrestleMania on TV, regular TV.
Yeah.
But now here we are 6 weeks in, and the plot lines already are getting stale. You got the same stuff every week for these certain people. It's like, is anything going to change? And the one thing I will say, the botching this week. Like almost every match had like multiple botches in it. And it does take away from the product when they're all on one show. I could see, 1 or 2 major botches, but like every match was sloppy.
It takes you out of it. Like the women's tag match, like, holy fuck, this Raquel girl is dangerous. Like shades of fucking Nia Jax. Poor Liv Morgan's looking fugly as fuck. She got in the back. She's like all black and fucking bruised up, bleeding.
Yeah. A real knee to the face.
This bitch is fucking swinging her around into people's knees, people's elbows. Who fucking knows? Then fucking Bailey and fucking what's her name, Valkyria.
Yeah.
Worst match I've seen this year. I'm not even kidding. Like it was fucking grim, Phil.
If you counted the amount of spots in the match, I would be shocked if there were more spots that actually worked out right than the ones that they botched.
I was just like, holy fuck, the timing on everything was wrong, just rotten. Eventually, towards the end, they started to get some moves to land, but it's like, what happened? What happened? It's like these are supposedly two of the best female workers they have. Bailey's been working there at the main event level for what? 10 fucking 15 years?
She's been there forever. She's been there absolutely forever at this point. One of the founders, the big four of NXT. So
the 4 horsewomen, Bailey, I've seen her have good matches. You know what I mean? And then this other girl, she's like highly hyped from NXT. People say she had a good run. I didn't see any of it.
Yeah, me either.
But this match was the fucking shit. Then even in the main event, like at the beginning, Rey Mysterio and Logan Paul, they couldn't fucking figure it out.
Right.
They had to go to the corner at one point and sit there weird, like talking to each other.
The whole conversation.
To try and figure it the fuck out. Now, Phil blames Logan Paul. I don't even know if it was Logan Paul's fault or if it's Rey Mysterio's fault. Because if you remember a couple weeks ago, Rey Mysterio and Kofi Kingston had a match that had about 4 fucking brutal botches in it. So I don't know if it's that Rey is getting older and he's lost a step, or if Logan's too inexperienced, or a combination of that.
My problem right now is I'm trying to watch a solid match of Logan Paul because I keep hearing he's good. So all I've seen is the Royal Rumble where he just did a couple spots and it was really hard to read if he's good. And then this match that was full of botches and mistimed moves, and it, I can't get a read on it if he's good or not.
There were some positives to it. We'll get to it. We'll do a full breakdown of everything. Let's start off with the releases. So it's spring cleaning time. It's not really spring yet, but it seems like around this time of year, either before WrestleMania, after WrestleMania, a bunch of people get fired. Both companies are shuffling things around, trimming the fat, releasing people. So I have a list here. The first name on the list, Sonya Deville. Her contract is not being renewed. She is being released. Best known as what, Mandy Rose's bodyguard.
Yeah, at one point, exactly. Or Bestie when they were a tag team and stuff like that, right? And that's
Are you,
ages ago now. So
yeah, Mandy Rose went to go do OnlyFans, her true calling in life. Apparently, she makes millions selling her body to simps on OnlyFans. So, Sonya Deville, she wasn't really being used. Are you gonna miss Sonya Deville, Phil?
it just seems like she never got anything going. Like every time that they gave her something to do, it kind of fizzled out. I remember in NXT, she was supposed to be the MMA girl, but then they actually brought in real MMA fighters, so she had nothing to do. She seemed like she wasn't legit. They bring her to the main roster. She's teamed up with Mandy Rose. Then that fizzles out. Now, I guess, she was in this group PFC or whatever it is, which I didn't understand because it had barely been on TV, and I'm trying to understand it catching up on the Royal Rumble or whatever. And even that didn't seem like it had much steam. So the most notable thing I remember about her, it was her and Mandy Rose, when Mandy was still with the company, were like hanging out at one of their houses and like a home invader broke in and tried to like attack them or some shit. Like,
That's right. Yeah, the
that's
home
like
invasion.
that's like
And
the one
that's
thing I remember about her. That's
the most memorable thing. I mean, at this point, they probably hired about 6 of these butch lesbian type women that look pretty similar to her. You know what I mean? Like they have Raquel Rodriguez. Like they have, you know what I mean? It's not like
Yeah.
she really stands out.
I mean, like I
in
said,
any
she
way.
she was the discount Shayna Baszler, and then they got the real Shayna Baszler. So why do you need the discount? It doesn't make sense. Like she didn't have any other role to fill once the real MMA fighters actually came in and started wrestling. So
I'm not gonna miss her. I really never had any strong attachment. Now, one that I honestly am kind of surprised, but it's not the first time. It's like the third fucking time this has happened. Akam and Razar, the
Jeez,
authors
again?
of Pain, and Paul Ellering as well.
again,
Go ahead, Phil. Give us your thoughts.
what is going on with WWE? I feel like they have two people who are like bipolar in charge, and they're just like yelling at each other in a room, and then one of they thumb wrestle or something, and they win. Okay, well, we're hiring them back, and then it didn't work, so we're firing them again, and we're hiring them back. Like these guys were really hot in NXT as the authors of Pain with Paul Ellering as their manager. Like they were really, really hot. And then they came to the main roster. They ditched Paul Ellering. They immediately lost all of their steam. No one cared about them, and they got released. Then they came back, and then they were with Seth Rollins for a while, which made really no sense. And it was only like a couple months. And then again, they kind of like disappeared. And then next thing you know, they're gone again. And I guess this last run, I believe they were with the stable with Karrion Kross.
The Final Testament. It never got any steam behind it, any sort of traction. I guess they were in a feud with the Wyatts that didn't really ever seem to be on television that much. Or, I don't know. I guess Karrion Kross is going to do his own thing now. Or maybe they're going to fucking repackage him as something different or release him. I don't know. I think this one's a shame because I thought these guys had a really good look. I thought they were really quite good in the ring. I thought they had a lot of good size to them. I liked Paul Ellering as the manager. The idea that this is like a next generation Road Warriors, Legion of Doom type thing. The problem is neither of them could cut a fucking promo to save their lives.
Nope.
Neither of them had that charisma, that it factor that drew people to them, that made them excited for them. But that being said, couldn't they have slotted them somewhere in the tag division? Like, them and War Raiders.
Right.
Who, by the way, I thought War Raiders looked really good this week on Raw.
Yes.
I was actually getting really into that match before it ended with a wet fucking fart. But, they could have had a really good match with those guys. They could have a really good match with the American stable, with Chad Gable's team. Like, there's a lot that they could do with those guys, just in terms of even just having matches with them or having them be like a bodyguard for a heel like they did with Seth Rollins in the past. Maybe they just are not liked backstage or they rub people the wrong way. Something like this.
I just
don't
get
know
it.
what chat has to fucking say about this.
I'm
I'm kind kind of rattled to see these guys go. This is the one where I was like, why? Why can't they figure out anything to do with them?
There are tag teams historically in the WWE/WWF way back in the day that the tag teams look imposing, are good in the ring, but can't talk for shit. So they always pair them with someone perfect, right? You get the head shrinker, so you put them with the good manager. Remember Mr. Fuji managed like 10 of these tag teams, right, back in the day. And Paul Ellering was the perfect guy, the classic guy to bring in and manage them, and that's why it worked in NXT. And every single time that they took him away from them, it failed. And then we'll put him in New Testament. Why? Just let them cook in the ring in these tag matches and have Paul talk shit, and it will work. It worked in NXT, but it's like as soon as you hit the main roster, they must remove the gimmick that worked from developmental. And why? Why are you doing this?
And it's not even like you can blame Vince McMahon anymore and say, oh, Vince doesn't get it, or he wanted to sabotage Hunter or whatever. It's Triple H's guys now. Like Triple H was in charge of NXT when these guys were coming up. You'd think he liked these guys because he gave them a big push down there. But, some people in chat are saying they were injury prone, and maybe that's what it was.
Okay.
One of the guys would get injured, and then it would stop the other guy from being in a tag team, and that, they would, have to stop. And they didn't trust one of them to be a single star. But I don't know, even like, put these guys back down on NXT then. If you don't think that they're main roster material, put them down on NXT permanently and have them be like the big boss tag team down there that, works with tag teams and puts them over. I'm just surprised that there's no spot for them in WWE at all.
And it's certainly not like they're not prone to putting people back on NXT. Don't we have a title match coming up on Saturday where Bayley is in it? It's like, so you've done this a zillion times. Just put them back down there for a while and see how they do. But yeah, I agree with you. I mean, at this point though, you got to wonder. I mean, 3 strikes you're out, right? There's no chance they're coming back a 4th time at this point.
Well, then do they go to AEW? And it's like, do they go to TNA? Is that where they're going to be heading to? Because I don't know, they're too big for TNA. TNA has a problem with wrestlers that have size, that are big and strong for whatever reason, because the people over there have this indie-rific bingo hall fucking Revenge of the Nerds mindset where anybody who was ever in a fucking weight room or anybody who ever took themselves seriously as an athlete or a wrestler is forced to job to fucking 90-pound pencil neck geek homosexuals like the Young Bucks, unfortunately. So I don't see any fucking hope for them over there, to be honest with you. And then Paul Ellering, like, they really can't find anything. He's older. It would be nice for him to draw a paycheck after all he's given to the business. They can't have him manage any other team or do any other stuff in a backstage capacity.
I'm sure he has absolutely he has no experience or no skills to draw upon whatsoever. There's nothing he could possibly add to a pro wrestling company, right? Like, no one could he coach, no one could he train, right? It's just, they got to get rid of him clean. Just toss him to the street, of course.
So, I don't know. That one was the most surprising to me. Then we got a real no-name here on next on my list. Blair Davenport.
I don't know who that is. Yeah.
She's like Cruella DeVille, black and white hair fucking gimmick. I think she was in developmental. She wasn't used very much from what I understand. Then we have Cedric Alexander.
We were just talking about that when we watched AEW, about where was he, all of the Hurt business, now the Hurt, whatever the hell they are over there, went over and he didn't. Well, maybe he will be very soon. Maybe he'll be over there because I don't think they were doing anything with him anyway. I haven't seen him on TV in the last 6 weeks. I don't know if he was on SmackDown or whatever, but yeah, he's gone. I'm assuming he had nothing else to do anyway. So
yeah, I mean, he's probably going to be better off over in AEW and the Hurt Business or Hurt Syndicate or whatever they're called over there. He wasn't really doing anything in WWE, wasn't lighting the world on fire. Noble Times, though, in chat is saying that Blair Davenport was amazing.
Oh.
I guess she had a run in Japan. You know, this is what it is though. Or in the UK, she had a run over there. It's like, no, dude. I swear, this wrestler had a really good run in Japan. Now nobody ever saw it, including me, but it was a really good run in Japan.
Well, you know what's
Right?
funny? It's like
I've been told this a million fucking times. It came from Japan.
Before I quit watching wrestling, if you remember, WWE had their UK show, right? NXT UK or whatever. And I would watch it from time to time. And not to say that the wrestlers were bad. They weren't. They were good wrestlers. But it was just funny because, like, they'd get all this, like, oh, the hypest person from the UK on that show. And then they would, like, come to regular NXT, and sometimes they'd even have them featured on, like, regular WWE TV. And it would be like, who is this? I never heard of them. They get no hype, no attention. No one knows shit. So I get the feeling that there is that level of, internationally in this way smaller pro wrestling, federation or whatever, these people are hype, and there are people who are like super hardcore into pro wrestling who know of them and like them. But you got to understand that when they come over to the big leagues, they're not all going to make it. And here's a person, I never heard of her, maybe she was in NXT, I don't know, but I guess everyone has a fan base.
NXT UK for a while, just looking briefly at the synopsis of her
Ah,
career.
there you go.
She was in NXT UK for a while, like 3 years in NXT UK. And then she was on SmackDown and had like 2 or 3 matches on SmackDown. And that's about it for her. Then we have Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson.
Again?
Again.
Oh.
I guess AJ Styles isn't going to be happy about that, or didn't have the clout, or didn't have the pull for them. I mean, Luke Gallows, I think his most interesting run in WWE was in Straight Edge Society, like fucking almost 20 years ago, is like the most memorable run, I guess.
Wait, you don't think in Biscuits and Gravy, that tag team, that he was the best? Remember that one?
Oh my god, man. Was he who? Oh my god. I don't know. When they came into the company, there's few runs. What were they called?
I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember because I only remember him. I don't remember his. Yeah.
Oh, was he Festus? He was Festus.
Festus. Right. Yes,
he
Festus.
Was Festus back in the. I was thinking in my head, I'm like, was he Festus? I'm sure he was, but I couldn't be definitive on that. But yeah, Jesse and Festus was a fun gimmick. He was retarded. He was drooling and shit.
Go for it today. See what happens today. Bring it back. They got to rehire him to be Festus. Rehire him as Festus and act like he's never worked for the company before.
That was your big controversy this week, was you made your stand on the retard word, Phil, saying that you have a right to say it.
Damn straight. You're using an academic sense. It makes sense. So there you go.
I couldn't grill you on that because I agree. I don't know. I just think people need to stop being so soft about it.
Yeah, too many sensitive wimps out there today. A schoolyard words that we all used when we were 5, and now they're like life-crushing words. Like, give me a break, man.
We're like the most hardened fucking trolls online, badass motherfuckers, comment section warriors, Twitter warriors, and they're like trying to cancel you for saying retard. I'm like, okay, I guess we're all just soft fucking pussies now in the trolling community. I don't know. It's soft as fuck. I need him canceled for that. Okay, sure thing, boss. Gallows and Anderson, I never really got into them. There's people who are real marks for them, and Bullet Club and Japan.
Yeah.
But I never really thought their wrestling was that great. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of reminds me of FTR, where there are people who just suck FTR's penis, or whatever they were called, the Revival.
The Revival, yeah.
They're the greatest thing ever. I can't even tell the two fucking guys apart, those two FTR. I swear to God, man, they're the same fucking wrestler to me. The most generic, bland, white bread fucking wrestler that's, I'm a tough guy or whatever. And people are like, but they're really good workers. It's like, I don't give a shit. There's no charisma. There's no character. The look is fucking bland. They're just a couple of good hands. And that's the same thing here. Like, they're just like, all they could really ever be was like bodyguards or like mid-card tag guys. So I really don't mind them going. Is anybody really like sad that they're gone? I don't know.
The problem for me is they work as great as a tag team and great as a faction. They don't really work. First of all, they don't work singles at all, right? Like those two would never cut it just being singles wrestlers. And they have to be a part of a greater whole to work. When they were in Bullet Club in Japan, and by the way, in Japan, it's more about the hard hitting wrestling and stuff like that, the work ethic. It's not necessarily about I'm the best on the mic. Like you could be in a faction in Japanese wrestling, New Japan or whatever, and not be a big talker, but you can be a badass in the ring. And they accept that. It's a cultural difference between us and them, right? Here they come over, it doesn't really translate as well. They have to be a part of something. And they never called them Bullet Club, which I don't think they were allowed to. They never had the rights to that. But they kind of were Bullet Club when they're with AJ, they're with Finn at one point. They were going back and forth. Oh, it's Bullet Club, but it's not. It never really worked, honestly, in my opinion. I mean, I like them as wrestlers, but I never really cared about their gimmicks. I remember for a while they were trying to do comedy skits and shit. It didn't work. It fell flat. I never saw them as doing anything better than just being, tag champs for a little bit, and that was it. And they were never going to grow. They were never going to do anything else. So they just kind of flounder. And, sometimes they'd be on TV with AJ. Sometimes they'd be gone for months. So I'm not shocked. I don't know what else they would have done with them besides bring them back with AJ. Now that AJ's back again, and I guess they decided not to do it this time.
Good for them, though. They made a lot of money, I'm sure, in WWE for doing very, very little work.
Right.
And I'm sure AEW will hire them and pay them a fuckload of money to do very, very little. Tony Khan will get fleeced by these guys and buy into the hype of Japan. Like, I swear to God, anybody can go to Japan and sell Tony Khan a fucking dream. The tall tale of how they were a superstar in Japan. And this motherfucker will open his wallet. He'll bend over, grab his fucking ankles for a cool $500,000 a year or more.
Eesh.
Like, they might even be able to get 7 figures out of that fucking mark straight up.
And these guys, I remember particularly, there was one time, it was one of the earlier like Middle Eastern pay-per-views that they did, like Crown Jewel or whatever, and they were in a match, and there was an interview with Carl Anderson. It wasn't like a WWE interview, but like internet interview, and they asked him, why did you go over there? Did you even think it would be safe or whatever? He said, dude, I just put in a fucking pool just on that appearance at my house, so I don't give a shit. I just made bank doing this stupid shit that they keep sending me on. Of course I'm going to accept every offer, and they're paying me for nothing, so.
Yes. So good for them. They had a run there where they made money, but yeah. Then we had Isla Dawn. Isla Dawn.
I know who that is from, again, NXT UK. I don't know if she had ever hit regular NXT, but even when I saw her in NXT UK, she was very green. She was a character, but not a good wrestler. I don't know if she ever evolved in the 5 years that I wasn't watching, but I wasn't impressed 5 years ago, so.
Yeah, I don't think she got to Raw, I guess, on night 1 of the 2024 WWE draft.
Huh.
And they won the Women's Tag Team Championship. She actually was a WWE Women's Tag Team Champion with Alba Fire. This was when you weren't watching.
Yeah.
And I obviously wasn't paying enough attention at this time to the WWE Women's Tag Team title scene. But yeah, she's gone. I don't know what her partner is going to do then. I don't know. Some people are saying it was because she spoke out against Logan Paul. Or something like that. So I don't know.
You better watch out. Don't speak out against Logan Paul. It'll get you canceled, let me tell you.
Okay, Elektra Lopez. Bueller. All right, moving on.
Yeah.
Giovanni Vinci. This is going to be an interesting one because the word on the street is this guy tried to steal Ludwig Kaiser's girl.
Whoa.
He was, and so I don't know if that's true or what, but they buried this guy fucking hard, man. They absolutely buried him. I don't know what he did, if that's true. I guess we'll find out in the shoot interviews as to why. But he was a member of the Imperium.
Right.
Back when they were on NXT. Then I think as soon as they were called up to the main roster, I don't even think he was a part of it anymore. or he was only briefly a member of Imperium on the main roster. Then they repackaged him as this like Italian playboy character. And I remember seeing the vignettes for it. And then I think he only did that for a couple weeks and it didn't really go anywhere. And now he's gone. So
I was wondering because we've been seeing Ludwig on TV like every single week, right? Like he's actually pretty prominent on Raw right now. And I was wondering what happened to the other half of Imperium, you know, like where did he go? I had no clue about any of that shit. So, wow.
yeah. So that's it. Oh, AEW releases. So Ricky Starks, Phil, did you ever see any of Ricky Starks' work?
I know who he is because when I was still following the trends on X, when X was going from Twitter to X, you know, that's when AEW was becoming prominent. And he is actually one of the like big up and comers early on, the big rookie talents in AEW. And all I ever saw on X was seems like he's going to get a push, seems like he's going to go over, seems like maybe he'll have a championship run. And apparently it never happened. Like he never really got his due in AEW. And then I stopped following the trend, so I don't know what happened. But I believe you had said he's been trying to get his release for a long time, and they were like locking him in.
I don't know. Ricky Starks was a young guy. He was an AEW original. I never thought he was anything that amazing. He got buried by Edge. Edge called him a fucking vanilla midget and a poor man's Rock, which, you know, wasn't really fair because, I mean, that's what he was. You know, he was trying to be The Rock. He wasn't him. He wasn't The Rock. He just didn't have that charisma, that connection with the audience, that look. But he was decent enough on the mic. He was okay. You know, it felt more like he was trying to be somebody that he wasn't, but at least he was trying. His in-ring work is okay. It's decent. Now, the thing is, he's now debuted tonight in NXT.
Wow.
So just shortly before we went on the air, the news broke that he's debuted in NXT. So we'll see what sort of run he can have in NXT or WWE. As we've been seeing with Penta, the way that WWE can present people oftentimes can bring a lot more out of them that you didn't see before. So he might have a good run in WWE. He can cut a decent promo. If he can find himself as a character more, if he can find the right gimmick and not lean so much on being a ripoff of The Rock, then maybe he could go somewhere. But I'm not saying like he's lighting the fucking world on fire or anything like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Then Miro, you know Miro, Phil.
Miro?
Well, you don't. Rusev.
Oh, he got released? He did?
Yes, he finally got his release.
Wow.
So I'll talk a little bit about Rusev or Miro's AEW run.
Okay.
I was always into Rusev. I always thought he was a decent, like, foreign heel character. I remember when, you know, he came in with Lana at the start as, like, this Russian evil character. Even his NXT run as the Bulgarian Brute, like, I thought I liked it. He had that match with Cena at WrestleMania, that feud with Cena, that was pretty decent. But then, you know, they started doing the weird cuckold angles with Bobby Lashley.
With Lashley, what the hell?
And, you know, I guess it was that Vince, this is the strange thing with Vince is like, if he gets the idea that you don't deserve to have a hot woman, he makes it his mission to destroy your career and to ruin your relationship. And that's what I thought was going on there. But then when he got to AEW, he started doing the cuck shit again of his own volition when he had control of the creative. So I don't know if he like is like a cuck fetishist actually, or what the fuck is going on with him.
Why did he think the plot that failed and made him get released from WWE was going to work in another company?
Well,
I don't get it.
John Carlos says it's Paul Heyman's fault for the cuckold angle, which I believed at the time. I thought it was Heyman was obsessed with this, but I think it's Rusev's own doing. But what killed Rusev in AEW is he first came in as the sidekick of Kip Sabian, who is this little fucking vanilla midget jobber, and their gimmick was that they were gamers.
Oh,
And it
come
was
on.
just so fucking lame, dude. Their gimmick was
Uh,
that they were Twitch streamers and gamers. And it's like, this is a giant, badass Russian dude. Eventually, they actually found a really good gimmick for him. And you should go back and watch some of this because I thought it was
yeah.
good. Where he was God's chosen champion, and
Uh,
like God was talking to him, and he was on a mission from God, and he was their TV champion, and then he was like cursed with a weak neck, so
huh.
his neck was his weak spot, and people could take him out with that. Ultimately, I think he only lost like twice clean in his entire run,
Wow.
and once to Daniel Bryan, and then I think when he lost the TNT title, I don't remember. But the problem was, like, he didn't want to lose. Like, he didn't want to be booked to lose or something like this. And there was a lot of creative disputes and weird stuff going on with him where he was refusing to perform. I don't know if he's going to go to WWE. I doubt it. He's probably blackballed from both WWE and AEW. Miro Rusev's probably TNA bound at best. Might be in the indie bingo halls for the next like 5 years or an eternity until he reinvents himself. Finally, Malachi Black.
Oh,
Do you have any thoughts on him?
I'm so confused about this guy. All right, because I actually was watching him on NXT when he debuted, and he was like the hot thing on it. It was like him and Velveteen Dream were the two guys that were coming up together in NXT at that time. They actually had a really good feud together, and actually it was Alistair who had won against Velveteen, so he was the one who was gonna like get the big push to the main roster, and then he hit the main roster and just fizzled out completely. Like it's kind of like one of these situations where like Karrion Kross, he was hot as shit on NXT. He just comes to the main roster, and for some reason they can't get anything to work for this guy, which doesn't make sense. He had charisma, he had good in-ring work, he had a mystique about him with his character and everything. And so I think he floundered for like about a year until finally I guess he got released. And I don't know if he got released. I can't remember what the situation was around his release. That there was, I think there might have been some drama or something around it. And I remember he got signed by AEW. And then again, I wasn't watching AEW, but I know that apparently there was a lot of stuff going down at first with his booking, and he had the House of Black and everything. But that's the last I heard. Like, I didn't know what else was going on with that group. So I don't know how that fell apart, because I know at one point that was going well.
There's always been a lot of hype and a lot of buzz around Malachi Black, or Alistair Black as he was called in WWE. There was people always clamoring for him to be pushed, or he was going to be the next supernatural character like Undertaker. And, I thought he had a pretty decent move set. He had a pretty cool look. It seemed like, there was potential there. And in AEW, when he first came in and he was feuding with Cody Rhodes, and he was in the Codyverse, and it was kind of its own thing separate from all the rest of AEW, because that's how Cody did it. Like, Cody's segments had nothing to do with the rest of the show and were completely tonally different. And that feud was actually pretty good. And I was like, okay, this guy is going to be something. But then, they would take him off TV for a long time. Then he would be in trios tags with the other guys. They just never really got like a story going that was coherent or interesting. And it was kind of like Bray Wyatt, but worse, where there was like these ideas of lore, or like ideas of what the Black faction would be, or some curse, or some this or that.
Yeah, didn't he have like a makeup thing he was doing with his eye, and like each week it would grow, and people were like, oh, something's gonna happen with that. And then like nothing ever happened with that. It just died, right? Like didn't amount to anything.
The problem is it would be like, what? Like, what are we doing with this guy? Like, there seems to be potential here, or story here, or lore here, but then nothing would ever be explained. Nothing would ever be elaborated on. He's never really got like a memorable feud, or like a super really good match where I was like, yeah, this is awesome. So I don't know. I guess he's going to go to WWE again.
Huh.
That's where he wants to be. He signed a 7-year deal with AEW,
Whoa. 7
which in
years. And he got out
7 years,
early.
and he got out early. Like, he thought that that was the place to be, and it just turned out it was not the right fit for him. People dispute back and forth again with Miro. Apparently, he didn't want to lose Malachi Black. I don't know what it is with guys who are like refusing to lose in pro wrestling. Like WWE doesn't tolerate this shit. Like, if you refuse to lose, you're going to be fucking fired and sent home. But this is the problem with Tony Khan, is he's not a boss. He's not a fucking guy who can just go in and, no, you're going to fucking do your job or you're fucking done.
Right.
And it's just a total fucking circus shit show over there. These are 3 guys in AEW that, these aren't like no-name jabronis. Like, you look at the WWE release list, and these guys were fucking low-level guys, really, at best.
Yeah.
These were guys that could have been main eventers in AEW, especially, I think, Miro and Malachi Black could have had potential to be main eventers, or at least, they wouldn't be the face of the company, but they could be in a world title program as a credible challenger or something, and they've just been totally wasted. And Ricky Starks, though, is the one that was snapped up by WWE fastest. They must see something in him.
Right.
And they seem to be making it a point of the AEW talent they take to do something big with them, to show people that AEW fucking sucks. So I imagine they're going to do something with Ricky Starks. Okay, that's it for the spring cleaning. Let's shout out the contributions at this point. Let's see where we're at.
All right, let's get started. First, let's take a look over on Kick. And I believe that there was at least one sub. At least one. And I believe that sub...
One sub. Sub, Phil. One sub. This
one
show's
single
canceled.
sub. No.
One solitary sub.
It was from No Kino Entry. That was the name of the person who did the gifted sub there. So thank you to No Kino Entry. Actually, there's a significant amount of super chats to get through. So we'll jump into those next. And then I believe right now there's one tip.
Why isn't PPP wearing Phil merch? Well, I went to buy Phil merch, and they don't sell it in fat fuck sizes because Phil is fat phobic and he's racist against people of calories such as myself. So that's why.
I believe you're right. I believe they sell up to 2XL in certain ones, right? And that's it. That'll be it. 2XL. So yeah. I hate to say I don't, sadly, I don't have as much reach as maybe another content creator where they would actually allow me to do bigger sizes because they
don't let you do bigger sizes, bro.
I could ask, but I did already, and they're like, if you sell more, yeah. So
how many did you sell so far?
Actually, when I first launched the store back in the fall, it actually did pretty good. Like, I would say probably between 50 to 75 pieces were sold within the first month, 2 months, which was really good for someone like me. I hadn't had merch in a long time, but just like everything, it kind of died out. I haven't had any new designs or anything because I'm not a graphic designer, so I don't have anything really new to put on there. I don't really push it as much anymore. So now I get a few a month, And the good thing is that it is a good company I'm working with. I do get a good amount, a good cut. I used to work on that Teespring site. Dude, that site was terrible. You make a buck a shirt. It was stupid. But this site is decent. Just don't really have much to put on there right now. Maybe this year we'll get some new ideas.
Steve of Truth Seekers and Shy goes, suffer fatties. Yeah, I'm going to have to make it my big motivation for my weight loss to squeeze into the Philomania 2XL. I just got to think to myself before I slam an entire sheet of cake. Wait a minute, though. I'll never be able to wear a Philomania shirt.
Oh, no.
So
we got subs coming in. We got 15 subs just came in from Rare Tricks. A 15 sub bomb. Thank you very much, Rare Tricks, for that. And then Dank Sneed Pimp dropping 5 subs over on Kick. So we just got 20 right there.
20 big subs coming in. Let's fucking go!
Hell yeah.
Wrestle! Now, guys, I'm going to ask you guys to dig down deep tonight because If we don't get to $600 of support, then Phil won't eat Arby's tomorrow.
I can't eat Arby's on Wednesday if we don't hit $600 of support tonight.
John Diaper wants the Arby's. He's gifted 5 subs to the program.
Thank you, John.
Let's go!
We're at 130 and climbing right
guys,
now.
For every sub gifted, I'm going to take a hit off my vape.
Whoa. Whoa.
Whoa!
For every sub gifted, I will eat a tiny curly fry from Arby's when I order.
Yeah, you're going to get what are you getting from Arby's, Phil, on DSP Tries?
I want to do basically new, old, and weird, okay? So the new thing they have is a fish sandwich. I've never had a fish sandwich from Arby's before. It's brand new, so I'm going to try one of those. I used to always get like the roast beef and cheddar when I used to eat there many years ago, so I'm just going to see if the roast beef and cheddar is the same or if they've changed it at all. But the other thing that I find weird, right?
The roast beef and cheddar, has it been revolutionized?
I don't know.
Steve seething in chat. He's like, people pay for this shit?
Damn straight they do.
Maybe you should try eating fucking Arby's there, Steve.
Turn on the camera. You know, fucking start stuffing your face and see what happens.
And money to fucking eat Arby's, Steve. You'll be surprised how far the grift can go when you're just shameless as fuck.
No, and then the third thing I'm going to get, and this is bizarre, right? Arby's is always called like the place you go if you don't want to get like fried food. Like you go to Arby's for their roast beef or their turkey. They have a fucking burger now. Like what? Why does Arby's have a burger? It's just so bizarre to me. Like that's the antithesis of what they were. So I want to try a burger and see if the Arby's burger is any good or not. So I'm going to get like 3 sandwiches and compare them.
I don't know. It's been out forever, the fucking hamburger.
Yeah.
I refuse to get it. Like, they have the fish sandwich there now, too. I don't get that. I don't know. I used to be into the beef and cheddar, but now I get it, and I'm like, this is gross. I don't know. I don't know. I have now switched my Arby's order to the French dip. And I dip it in the au jus and I slam it in my blowhole. Because the cheese sauce now, I don't know. I used to be a big processed cheese sauce mark, you know, but I guess I'm just like not as obese as I used to be. And I find it unsatisfying. So I don't know what to say.
Maybe they changed it. I mean, fast food, it's very rare that they keep it the same formula for more than like 5 years. A lot of these places, they swap and you don't know. And you taste it like 5 years later. If you haven't had it, you're like, why is this gross now? They fucking changed the consistency, the ingredients, you know. It'll be interesting. I used to go to Arby's all the time because there was one block away from me. And then they got closed during COVID. And I was wondering what happened. I looked into it. They had such an egregious violation of the health code. They were forced to close and lost the franchise license. I was like, damn, what the fuck did they do during COVID? Like, what? Oh, my God. Like, I can't imagine. So I'm glad I wasn't eating there currently. So this will be interesting. By the way, Piss Style Man Real also dropped the sub over on Kick. So we got one more.
Huge! Another. Let's get some subs. We have to avoid Phil's financial audit business meeting where, you know, we all get shamed for not contributing enough. So if we could please just like, you know, we could actually do content, but only if you give us more money.
That's right.
So otherwise, Phil is going to have to shame you. We're going to have to fold you upside down and shake you for pennies and fucking nickels. Don't you know that Phil is in neck pain right now?
I am. I'm still in neck pain.
You're so full of shit.
No, I'm serious. It hurts bad.
You're faking this injury.
Didn't you see the pillow? Didn't you see the pillow I had?
Oh, stop. Okay, did the pillow fix it?
It actually, I'm able to sleep and not keep waking up because my problem is I move too much in my sleep. I'm like one of those restless sleepers that moves around. I think that's how I fucked the neck up to begin with. So now this pillow keeps you in place. So it is getting slightly better every day because I'm not moving.
Here's the grill, Phil. Didn't you earlier this week say that people just have to accept whatever physical ailments or health problems they have?
Yes.
But then you went out and spent money to try and address a physical ailment that you had with the neck pillow?
Because enough is enough. I can't keep going through this.
It doesn't seem to logically make sense, Phil. Doesn't seem to really add up, but
the problem,
Phil's a fucking champion soldiering through this pain for your entertainment.
When I had an ear infection, all right, we'll do a little bit of grill Phil right now. Years ago, I had an ear infection, okay? It was so bad, it kept coming back over the course of a year like 4 fucking times. And ear infections, I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. When you have a bad ear infection, it literally feels like someone has a fucking ice pick and they're going like this into the side of your head all day. So after having 4 of these goddamn ear infections, and what I would do, I have health insurance where you could go online and talk to like a registered nurse and explain your symptoms. And this was during COVID, right? So they said,
Right.
we don't want you going out. We're just going to send you the medication. So they kept sending me these fucking ear drops. It would go away, but it wouldn't cure it. It would come back. So finally I had enough. And I said to them, I need to go to the doctor. Like, this is ridiculous. I'm not getting any resolution. So they say, well, you can't just go to the doctor. That's not how it works. You have to go to the emergency clinic to have someone look at you. And I said, well, what person at the clinic is going to cure my problem? Oh, they won't. But we need to confirm your problem before we can actually send you to the doctor. So I drove a fucking hour to an emergency clinic that was within my fucking insurance network. I waited for like an hour at the clinic. They go in, it's some schlub. He's not even a doctor, right? He's looking at my fucking ear. He goes, you have an ear infection. I said, no shit, Sherlock.
Shit. Yeah.
So
Tell him, Phil.
he goes, here's your prescription for medication. It's the same fucking eardrops they gave me 5 times already. So I'm like, so what else? He says, well, I'm going to give you the referral to go to the specialist, right? So go to the specialist. He gives me the referral. I call the specialist. The first appointment is in fucking 2 months. I said, so I'm not going to have the ear infection in 2 months. So how is this going to help me? I'm not going to have anything to show the doctor, right? I made the appointment. And by the time the 2 months rolled around, I had stopped doing the things that were causing the ear infection. Like, I was wearing headphones all day, every day, humid environment.
Is that how you got to the neck phones, Phil?
Yes, that's exactly how I got to neck phones for several years, because the headphones were giving me these stupid ear infections. So basically,
The neck phones.
I never even went to the doctor for it because there was no point. By the time the doctor would have come up, I already cured it. It was like, fuck this, right? Now, as you can see, I only wear headphones occasionally. I have no ear infection. So that's all it was. I was wearing them too much. I'm getting older. I got to be careful about how much I wear them, So, so now I got neck pain, right? Do you really think I want to go through this again? I got to fucking talk to the fucking nurse 7 times, go to the fucking guy. He's going to look at your neck. Oh, you have neck pain. No shit, Sherlock. Can I go to the fucking doctor yet? I'll have to wait another 3 months. And by then, my neck will be fine. Because that's happened before. And all I got to do is keep it, take it easy. Don't go crazy. Don't wrench my neck.
But are you encouraging your fans not to go to the doctor and not get help for their ailments? Because that's what people are saying.
Yes, no one, of any circumstance, should anyone ever go to the doctor. Doctors are all shysters. They're all out there to sell you snake oil. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, in a case where it's a situation where you kind of know what's going on, I've been through this before. You don't always have to rush to the doctor. What it is there's people out there who actually think every single time that you're uncomfortable, you should rush to the doctor for it. It's like, that's how our fucking system gets so backed up. Why do you think I have to wait 2 fucking months to go to the doctor? Because there's probably 17, 18 people in line who don't need to see the doctor. It's just something routine, but they're always panicking about it. It's like fucking hypochondriacs, right? You don't have to be that crazy about it all the time. So if this were really bad, like if I was seriously laid out in crazy shooting pain all the time, I'd be at the doctor as soon as possible. But I'm not. I've been through this before. I've actually had it much worse before. I just feel like, hey, now I have a little bit of money. Let me buy a pillow that'll probably help me get through it faster, But as everything, it gets all blown out of proportion. There's your Grill Phil segment for the week.
There we go, guys. Phil's logical inconsistencies addressed. We have now retconned the going to the doctor, not going to the doctor, deal with the pain, spectacular statements of Phil. Thank God, Phil, that you clarified.
We got super chats to shout out. We've got
Let's go!
Banana Yams had done a $5 super chat, but I can't see the message because it scrolled off the goddamn screen. So I apologize, Banana Yams. I wish I could have seen it to give you a proper shout out.
Bish.
I can't see it. There was also a $2 super chat earlier, and they had
back in.
Yeah, they had said that we both were looking very buff today, whoever that was. So thank you for that. We got Greg Lambert with a Australian $7.99 super chat, and I know from experience it's about $5 American. And they said PPP. So you dumped $2,000 on the Chiefs? Yikes, dude. That's Ralph level tier. Oh no, you really did?
I made it back on UFC, so it's all okay.
Okay,
I'm coping.
I
I'm
legit felt bad. I know you were joking, but on this show, what was it, last week or the week before, you asked me who should win the Super Bowl. I don't know anything about these fucking teams, so I was just like, oh, the Chiefs. I was like, oh, fuck, did he bet on the Chiefs because of me? He lost all this money. I felt like an asshole.
Was if we put the money on them, they would lose. And so I saved America from the Kansas City Chiefs repeat. I saved America from Taylor Swift. All of you can thank me. You're fucking welcome because I made that sacrifice for you.
Did you actually see? Did you see when at the Super Bowl when they first put Taylor Swift up on the board? Everyone booed her, and she literally on camera she goes, "Why is everyone? What's going on?" Like she couldn't understand why anyone would not like her. She thought she was like America's darling or something. What's going on? Why are they booing me? I was laughing your ass off like you fucking loser. Anyway,
somebody for 10. They asked if we were gonna watch the Vengeance pay-per-view. They were saying there was like Coomer girls and Trick Williams is getting whipped apparently for Black History Month.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. Apparently there's a lot of sexy women on NXT. Maybe if we hit the goal, we'll watch the NXT.
Let's get the goal tonight. Let's get the goal tonight. It is this Saturday, correct?
Let's hit the goal.
Let's hit the goal.
Saturday.
Yeah.
We'll do NXT.
Okay. Cave Teeth, $10 super chat. Breaking news, Canadian man known as PPP has been caught smuggling 4 metric tons of Little Debbie's snack cakes through the U.S.-Canadian border. I don't think he would have to smuggle them. I'm pretty sure that they'd be readily available, and I don't think he'd be too... I don't think you'd be too embarrassed to admit that you were eating snack cakes. Like, I don't know what the big deal is there.
The thing is, they've been banned from Canada.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah, there's been for years now.
What?
No more Little Debbie. Yeah, I was big into the zebra cakes.
Yeah.
I was on them hard, you know. I probably have about 30 pounds of converted zebra cake on my body from back when I could still get them. But the problem is there's no more fucking Little Debbie.
What the
Canada.
hell?
So I have to have it smuggled across the border by Little Debbie dealers, and they charge me insane markups on it. It's like the episode of South Park with Cartman with the KFC. That's what it's like up here.
That's hell. That's fucking bizarre. Why did they ban Little Debbie?
I don't know, man.
I don't get it.
I don't know. I was like during COVID, they just stopped bringing it up. I don't think it was banned. It was just like
they just stopped selling it there. Wow.
Yeah, they just stopped selling it. So I don't know.
Well, then you got to get yourself a genuine snack box off of Amazon where they'll send you a nice package of snacks that you could taste every time you hit a goal. That's the best way to do it. I'm sure they have American treats you could import too.
Here comes the grill. You claim that these are European snacks, but they're actually Turkish snacks.
Oh,
Phil.
Are they really? I don't know.
Actually, Turkish snacks, and Turkey is not part of Europe, Phil.
Well, I didn't know that.
Lied and scammed your audience once again, you grifting swine.
What is? I haven't tasted any of them yet. What is Tadel? What the fuck is Tadel? That's Turkish?
Like, it's Turkish, Phil, but I'm not Turkish, so I can't interpret it for you.
Oh, I thought you were Turkish. That's how you knew.
Why don't you try it? Why don't you try it out right now?
Because these are for when I hit my goals. What are you talking about? I can't.
Oh, Phil, you can't give us a free one.
You
wait. You can't just eat the chocolate bar.
You expect me to? You expect for free? You want me to eat an Olker cat tat? Like what?
Cat tat. What the fuck?
I have no idea. I've never seen any of these before. They sound.
How much is that? It's like $150 to get you to eat that.
They sound like knockoffs. Dore, Dore, Dore. It looks like Dove, but it's Dore. What the fuck is that?
Steam's coming out of Steve's ears as he hears this shit. He's just fucking boiling inside, you know? This fucking piece of shit wants $150 to eat this Turkish Kit Kat?
Whoa, there's some crackers in here or something. What is this? Like a graham cracker or something. It's called a Altinbasak.
Altimbasak.
Altimbasak.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute.
These are the premium delights that people.
All right. Okay, hold on. All right, I got to take an L here. If I actually had the triangle, I would play it for myself right now. Take a look at what it says on the top of the box. It says fucking Turkish snacks. I didn't even read it.
Oh, you didn't even read? Like, this is how much thought he puts into your rewards, people.
I didn't read it.
He doesn't even read the fucking box. This is fucking shameless, Phil. God, Phil, no, that's crazy, Phil. No. Retard alert! Retard alert!
All right,
Phil.
I'll take the
Oh,
L. I'll have to now correct myself on my streams and claim that it's a Turkish
kidding me?
box. It is not an actual
Oh my
European
God,
snack box. Oh my
man.
god! Wow.
Oh man,
All
this
right.
is tough.
We
All
got
right,
we
what
got
else
some
we
more
got?
super chats. We got Dat
Okay.
Pie over there, $5 says my golden Guido, Tony D just defended the NA championship but got cut down by a competing mafia. He beat Rico charges before. What the hell is he talking about? Is this some insider reference or something? Like, what is that about? Who's Tony D? I don't know who that's I don't know. Well, thanks for the $5. You don't know what that is, do you? I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Tony D beating Rico charges?
I don't know.
Yeah, I
I
don't know.
honestly, I have not a clue.
Okay. Then he did another $5 super chat. He says Cedric went back down to NXT. He was with Ash Ashante, the Adonis. He was starting to pick up with a UNC persona, but he got buried by all ego Ethan Page. So sounds like he was demoted back to NXT and then he got deflated, and that's why he got released.
I see.
Spawn Killer re-upped his membership for 23 months. He said, remember when Gallows was the Kane impersonator back in the early 2000s? Was he? I did not know that.
The fake Kane. Fuck.
Wow.
That was, yeah.
And then we got Still Splinter for €2. Do you think Rick Boogs had potential when he was with WWE? Now, wasn't he the guy that was pretending to be like a guitarist rock star with Nakamura, I believe? That's who that was?
Didn't have. I mean, he got about as good of a run as I think he was ever going to get.
Yeah.
He was kind of over for a while as a comedy guy, but I don't think he was going to get any further than he got. I mean, Otis, I feel like actually had more potential than him, but they decided he was not main event material. Even though he was really over a few years ago, people were really behind him. He had the size, but he didn't have that look for people, I think, to take him seriously as a big face of the company. But I felt like he could have maybe had a short title run there, but not everybody's meant to be a champion, I guess.
Yeah. Thirsty Tree, $5 super chat. Someone's got to donate. Where's the grift, Phil? Yeah, because we actually hadn't mentioned it in like almost an hour, so I guess people are starting to sweat.
I think the world record for no bags from Phil.
Like, no exaggeration, we didn't mention it, and in that hour, we got more contributions than we did all of last week when we were constantly mentioning it. So
you see, Phil, maybe we should actually do content, and then the contributions will come, instead of just like blatantly begging on our knees for money.
So you mean actually like provide the commentary that people came to Smart Guys to hear rather than doing segments catered to an audience that doesn't actually support anything that we do on the internet? Yeah, maybe that makes sense.
I don't know. Big Boss for $5. If you eat a Kinder Egg whole toy, I'll gift 20 subs.
Oh God, is it Kinder? Isn't Turkish? Is it? Like, I don't think that would be in that box.
Kinder
would it?
Surprise? Like, I guess they don't have that in America. But it's like a chocolate egg with a toy inside. The thing is, Americans are so dumb that they would eat the toy and die. So it had to be banned by the government.
They'd be like, oh, it's that Cadbury cream egg, right? And they just go, oh, swallow it. And fucking just lodges in their throat.
Plastic container, toy and all.
Oh my God, that's something else. We have Gay Man who did a $5 super chat and says, get some extra horsey sauce for me. I'll have to order some for you there. Orcs or Dorks, 23 months as a member. What the fuck? Arby's has a burger? Yeah, they do. And apparently they've had it for a couple of years. And like I said, I haven't had Arby's in so long that I've avoided trying it. So that's what I want to do for DSP Tries It this week. Dat Pie over there, another $10 super chat. Thank you. Dat Pie over there, he says, are you seeing NXT Vengeance Day this Saturday? The card is... Oh, you read this already. This was the Trick Williams and all of that?
Yes.
Okay. So
don't double count it. Don't be so generous.
No, I didn't count it earlier. I hadn't counted it back then. So we are at 191, and I believe there was one more $2 super chat from Banana Yams.
200 right now. Don't be fucking broke. Let's smash that $200 mark right fucking now as we go into the Raw commentary.
So I don't know who the hell. What this is a joke. He says, "Can we get Gahuli or Gahul for third chair?" I don't know who that is. I
I
don't know what
used to
that.
do a wrestling show with him back in the day. I don't know
Oh,
what he's doing these days. I haven't checked in on him in a while. I hope he's doing well.
cool.
Dat Pie over there for $5. Sorry for the lack of context. Tony D is NXT's North American champion. He defended the title tonight and after winning got jumped by a rival faction. Okay, well maybe we'll
Oh,
start getting into the NXT. If we hit the goal tonight, we'll have a look at the NXT Vengeance. I mean, we
yeah,
won't know really many of the people on
right,
it,
yeah,
but I'm sure the wrestling will probably be pretty good. And then Proto Man for 2, do a WWE 2K Royal Rumble based on the sector, guys. Well, we've talked about doing that in the past, but we floated doing like matches with Phil versus the Detractors, or
yeah.
doing a Royal Rumble with various characters that we cover on Kino Casino, but it hasn't seemed to get that much attention. Now, maybe when 2K25 comes out
Right.
and the
Next
game
month.
is brand new, people might be more interested in that, especially when I don't know if you're going to play it or not,
I
but
might. Now that I'm back into wrestling and commentary again, I think there might be a renewed desire in my fan base to see it. So I very well might get it. And let's be honest, the newer one's going to have the better graphics, probably have some tweaks. Yeah, that's the one people are going to want to see. They're not going to want to see the old one now that it's on the way out. So yeah, maybe we would consider it in the future. It sounds like a good idea. And Dr. Herbert West just dropped 2 subs over on Kick. Thank you, Dr. Herbert West,
so
for
we
that.
got over the $200 mark. Huge from Dr. Herbert West, coming in clutch and MVP on the show. But the real question is, by God, where is Iron Chef Sakai with the 20 sub bomb? Phil, what's going on with Iron Chef Sakai? Is he ever going to get the fucking sword or what?
Well, do you know the story, the full story, or do you only know
I
that
don't
he
know,
wants
like,
the story?
so
So,
I know, like, he was being an asshole a couple months ago. He was being a real arsehole to you, and then he did this stream against you where he
yeah.
was like trying to talk all this mad shit. Then he came back groveling on his hands and knees like a fucking peasant. Please forgive me, Phil. I have all this money for you, Phil. And now he's trying to like worm his way into your graces to get Maud back. But it's like, should you give him Maud? Like, he was disloyal.
What do you think? Honestly, your honest take on it. What do you think? Should I trust him again?
I don't think you ever trust him again, but what you do is you gotta hang that mod over his head and just keep milking him for hundreds and thousands of dollars until he goes fucking broke. Don't ever give it to him. Now, if he comes through tonight with the $1,000 contribution, maybe we would consider it, Iron Chef. I don't know what you do. What a disloyal snake he was. Oh,
I don't know. Like for me, here's the thing. Like I don't if I remodded him, I don't think it's a matter of that like he would do anything with it bad, but I think that's going to have ill will with the community because he already did that. And people are going to be like, well, if you're just going to mod someone just because they're supporting you, that's kind of fucked up, don't you think? Now, I don't know.
exactly.
For me, like, I want to mod people who I can trust, who are going to be fair to everyone else in the chat. This is my place of business, right? I have to make sure that people are being treated fairly. So that's my take. And I told him that too. I said, dude, if I remod you, people are going to have ill will. They're going to think that this is you bought your way back in, and not that I trust you, but that I'm just going to let you do it because you paying me, and I don't see that being right. And that's kind of where we're at. So some days he comes by and he supports, some days he doesn't. And that's where we've kind of left it. I mean, I outright told him no, I would never ever mod you ever in the future, but I'm also not eager to do it because I think it's going to piss off a lot of people.
It's a real power struggle. There's real court intrigue in the courtroom of King Phil with the evil, deceitful, grime of worm tongue, money bags, fucking little finger ass character, Iron Chef Sakai. He's like the master of coin around here. He waves his wallet around, thinks he's a big shot. But if you, the rest of the community, would just support, we could end the tyranny of Iron Chef Sakai and Phil could banish him once and for all. But unfortunately, nobody is supporting. So we have to keep this joker, this jester in the court of King Phil. I don't fucking know. Thirsty Tree for 2 says, glad to see Phil's graphic card didn't felt itself. That's good.
Yeah, what happened to Andy? He bought the new one, like the really expensive one, and the thing just crapped out last night? Is that what happened?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it fucking melted or something.
Oh my
I don't
God.
know. And now, like, he can't get a good model one because there's a shortage.
Right,
and
they're
it's
all
just
scalped.
fucking-
They scalped the fuck out of all of them now, so now you have to pay like double to get one. It's ridiculous. So
So I
Jesus.
don't know, Phil. You may have to become the OBS operator and you know, be there all the time. I don't know.
I couldn't possibly do a worse job than Rich over on Tech Talk, so you know.
Oh man, he's having a tough time. He's having a really tough time, Phil. He has to answer to Boogie, you know, the guy who faked cancer. Boogie's screaming at him, telling him he's a failure and a loser.
Oh my
He can't
God.
get OBS to work.
Can you
He's
imagine?
Oh, man, it's fallen so low. You know, Jey used to work for him, and now Jey is his boss. It's tough, man. And he admitted now he's making less money than he's ever made before in his whole career.
Oh my God.
Oh man, Keemstar made him do his beard like Keem. Did you see this?
What? No, I didn't see that.
Oh, it's bad, man. He made him like he had to color in his beard with a Sharpie marker and fucking and shave it like Keemstar. And then the other night, like his ex-wife had to come in and shave Rich's chest.
Oh no. Oh God.
And it was embarrassing, dude. He was begging for money to get naked and do snow angels in the snow.
Oh my.
And they wouldn't give it to him, Phil. But he makes fun of your goals. But his goal was to get naked in the snow.
You could be eating
man.
delicious Turkish treats, but instead,
I'm sure he's eating a lot of treats. He's put on a lot of weight, Phil.
Oh my God.
Holy fuck. He was fat. He was fat as fuck the other day.
We did actually get a tip. We got a $5 tip from Slayer tonight, who actually wants to talk a little bit of wrestling before we get back into Raw here. I guess this could be the transition, and back into wrestling. So thank you, Slayer. $5 tip. And he says, I want to say that I did enjoy last week's show. Fun fact, Joe Hendry's theme song was made by himself. He actually made his own theme song and sang it. Will Ospreay used to be known as the aerial assassin, hence that's why he has that association with like Assassin's Creed.
Yes.
For my prediction going into the Elimination Chamber in WrestleMania, I think Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins, who will win against Finn Balor, and CM Punk will not win the Chamber, but there may end up being a triple threat match at WrestleMania to end that rivalry finally. Also, Logan Paul will face off against John Cena in the Chamber and will face Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. Both this matchup and Jey Uso and Gunther have face and heel dynamic. Also, Jey Uso is getting this much promo time because the crowd just keeps hyping him up, so they're just going to keep rolling with this on the show.
What does he mean this much promo time? There's no promo time. It's just, it's me, Oos. It's day one, yeet. It's me, Oos. It's day one, yeet. Like he says 3 or 4 fucking words. What do you mean this much promo time? It's entrance time.
I knew you were going to say that.
Fucking predictions here. I didn't quite follow all of it. Maybe Cena's winning the Chamber. I'm not sure about that, to be honest. It seems like they're gonna milk this maybe till December, till the last pay-per-view, where I don't know if you saw this announced, but John Cena's last appearance will be in Boston in December. There's a pay-per-view that has, I forget the name of it actually now, but it's like something tied in with Cena. That might be where he wins number 17 and then retires.
Retires as the champion. Huh.
Retires as the champion. And Danks Need Pimp for 5 subs. Well, we need Danks Need Pimp to add a 0. We need a 50 bomb right now. Danks Need Pimp.
Wow.
Make it fucking so, buddy. Let's fucking get the rocket ship juiced up with the fuel and go to the moon of subs. Let's fucking go. It's Smark, guys.
All right.
And we've got the Raw review for February 10th, 2025. The show once again begins with Jey Uso in the lobby in his homosexual Cena knockoff Orange Crush Samoa Ensler shirt. Fuck him! It's me, Uso! Is every show gonna start like this?
We have to address something, because I actually had no clue until this week. I swear to God, I had no idea, because again, I'm just starting up with wrestling again. This word, yeet, okay?
Yeet.
Isn't that supposed to mean like an orgasm or something? Like, isn't that what it's?
That's what you think it means?
That's like he's yeeting. He's yeeting all over everyone.
Phil.
And he's going down the aisle with children. Children are there with him, and they're going, yee, yee.
Dang! Yeeting is when you like fucking whip something, you throw it, you yeeted it. You like fucking. I guess like Phil doesn't know the internet memes. Live streamer for 15 fucking years, and he thinks Jey Uso is jizzing on children in his entrance.
Well, hold on, because later he got down to the ring, and the commentary. Who was it? McAfee, right? Said he actually said whatever he said.
Yes.
Don't they have pills for this or something? No, Cole said, don't they have pills for this? And McAfee said, they have drinks and they have pills and everyone's trying to do it. And I was like, what? Like, what? What is it saying?
I missed that part. So, okay, here's the thing. The moment this happened, I hit the fast forward button. And I fast forwarded until something actually happened on this show. How many times will we be forced on the road to WrestleMania to have the first 10 minutes of the show just, it's me, it's J1G, it's me, J1G, it's retarded. I don't like it. Oh man, this went on. So I wrote, how long will this go on for? Will this be every show forever? I am skipping until something actually happens.
You're right.
7 minutes in, Gunther jumps Jey.
Yes.
Thank you, Jesus Christ.
I feel like the mainstream viewer was angry, but the actual wrestling fan was like, relief. Something is happening now. Finally, we're getting the attack. We're getting a plot line advanced, because it's first of all, the whole thing, and we've been talking about this since we started watching wrestling again. It seems like WWE has 100% leaned towards memeing culture, right? Seth Rollins' theme sucks ass, but everyone goes, oh.
Yes.
So now that's the meme, right?
Yeah, as long as you can get something that people chant, that's what they're going with now, as opposed to something, that's actually engaging or has any sort of substance or emotional or intellectual investment in any way. Like it used to be, like there were these things called storylines. Like a wrestler would steal another wrestler's girlfriend, or there would be some sort of white trash angle. Motherfuckers would come in with beer trucks and Zambonis.
Sometimes there would just be a live sex celebration in the middle of the ring out of nowhere.
Yes.
Like, what the hell?
There used to be things called angles, that were interesting things that happened in the world of wrestling. Now, all that we seem to get are these shitty fucking, it's me, Uso, it's day one, me, wahoo.
So here's the thing.
Doing the
I'm 42 years old. I'm about to be 43 in April, okay? You say to me, don't you understand the internet memes? Like, to me, the internet memes are fucking stupid. All right, I'm just going to be honest. I think they're dumb.
You're an e-celebrity. You're a live streamer that makes your living off the internet. How can you say that internet memes are stupid?
Because I'm not like everyone else. I call it like it is, and I hate this internet culture shit. I think it's dumb as fuck. So when I watch,
have a career without internet culture, Phil, and you are a living meme. What are you saying? Go ahead.
So now I watch wrestling, and I see the Seth Rollins, and I see the yeeting and everything. I'm like, it's just memes. Literally, what they've done is they've turned their wrestling program into a bunch of memes, so a bunch of brainless people have something to connect with. The brainless person might not even know what Seth Rollins is up to this week, but the moment they hear the theme, they go, and they freak out about it. Jey Uso hasn't had a credible fucking match to make him look like a main event contender. But if you yeet every week when he comes out, then you don't really give a fuck, right? And that's what I mean. It's kind of like you've dumbed it down to the point of brainlessness so the common person can jump in at any moment and get into it, even though they have no clue what the fuck's going on. And I think that's what actually Jey Uso represents. He is the memeing of wrestling culture. And that's why he's so popular, because people like that and they're selling tons of merch because of it. So they're not going to stop with this momentum.
It's been dumbed down to where he doesn't really wrestle very well. He's serviceable. He doesn't cut promos. He doesn't say anything, right? He doesn't really have like a Hollywood main event look. You know, he's not John Cena. He's not Hulk Hogan. He's not The Rock. He's not Stone Cold Steve Austin. He doesn't have that charismatic look.
Right.
All he has is an entrance and a catchphrase that he didn't even invent. The word yeet is just a word that he stole from the internet.
Yep.
And now he goes yeet and wahoo, and it's me, Use. It's day one, me. And it's like, it's now driven into my mind for fucking ever. This is like 1984 shit, Big Brother shit. It's like picture the future of wrestling. It's like a boot stamping on a face forever. It's the chant. It's me, Use. It's day one, yeet, forever. And it's like 15 fucking minutes every fucking week, forever. Stop, because he fucking came from Rikishi's nutsack. Rikishi just fucking shoved his big fat ass in people's fucking faces. And I know I'm famous only for that as well. But holy fuck, I'm not main eventing WrestleMania. Fuck.
So now you have a living meme as one of the top guys in WWE. And now we're all going to have to be subjected to this because the internet culture glamorized this, turned memes into celebrities, into popular rich people. Take a look at the top streamers right now. Are they really notable, or are they just living memes? Right? And that's what I mean. Like, so now you got a wrestler that's that.
This is your seething jealousy of iShow Speed and Logan Paul. Listen, Phil, I don't know what to tell you, bro. I don't know what to tell you. You're just jelly, buddy.
That's
You're
right.
just jelly.
Kaisa Nat, Kaisa who, Kaisa what the fuck you talking about? I don't care who the fuck that guy is.
He had John Cena on his show. He
I
had
know.
Carly
Why?
on his show.
Why?
You think John
Why?
Cena should come on level one?
Yes.
That's seriously what this guy believes. It's like narcissistic delusion. But this is the thing. Phil really believes he should be in the Royal Rumble and not iShow Speed.
Oh,
You know what
my
I mean?
God.
Like, deep down, I know you believe that, and that's like, it's crazy.
No. Back in the day when I was young, you know, and I used to be a super fan of pro wrestling and all of that. Of course, right? Everyone, when they were young, they fantasized about, oh, maybe one day I'll be a wrestler or something like that. I don't give a shit about that. I'm just enjoying getting back into the product now for the first time in a long time. I'm you know,
put the belt on you. We need one more run for Phil. Phil's
That's
gonna
right.
drop the leg and win at WrestleMania. Okay. Gunther slams Jey into the table. Then Gunther power bombs him in the ring. Then he power bombs him again. And then he starts walking away and he's like screaming, "Don't you do it! Don't you do it!" And it's like, how about you beat the fuck out of him until he can't do it?
Right.
How about that? Like, the big problem with this beatdown is it's like, couldn't it be more devastating? Couldn't he just like put Jey in the fucking hospital? Couldn't he injure him or put him on the shelf or something? You know what I mean? Like, instead, like, Jey completely no-sells this beatdown.
Yeah.
Like, the beatdown didn't even have consequences for the segment. Because the segment ends with Jey whooping Gunther's ass.
Yep.
So, it's like, what the fuck is this shit? Jay's like, I challenge you at WrestleMania. Wahoo! It's me, Uso! Whatever there, okay? And then Gunther comes back down. Jey no-sells the beating. Starts fucking whooping Gunther's ass. Jumps over the top rope. Like, just no-sold the whole fucking thing. What's the fucking point? What's the fucking point? This is the entire feud in a microcosm.
Yeah.
This is John Cena overcome the odds, rise above the hate, fucking lame shit. And exactly what we just saw happen is how this whole feud's going to go.
Exactly.
Gunther's going to beat the shit out of him. Gunther's going to dominate him. And then at the end, Jey will overcome the odds, have the superhero fucking ending, and win. It's so predictable. It's so cliche. It's so trite. And it's so tired. And I just don't. There's not a fucking chance in the world that Gunther is winning at WrestleMania.
No, not anymore. Nope.
And so you can't have a next level match when you know 100% who's gonna win, and you know 100% how the entire program and feud is going to go. It's just not exciting to me, and it's just really made me disappointed for WrestleMania. I want to see big names. WrestleMania is about box office. WrestleMania is about the big attractions. It's about John Cena. It's about CM Punk. It's about The Rock. It's about Roman Reigns, okay? It's not about Jey Uso, okay? It's just not. It's not. It's bullshit. And I just don't want to have to see this every week on my TV, but this is what I'm doomed to do now. I'm stuck now watching this every fucking week because of the Royal Rumble and its consequences have been disastrous for the WWE Universe. And I don't know if we're going to recover on the road to WrestleMania, Phil.
So I wonder, the more you think about it, will Jey Uso curtain jerk WrestleMania and just like squash Gunther? Or
that's what's going to happen. He's not going to get the main event. He's going to be the curtain jerker of night one. And it's like, this is what the Royal Rumble is being used for. And it's like, okay, I guess I'd sooner they do that than fucking actually put him in the main event and fucking disgrace WrestleMania like this. But fuck, I guess Gunther is just chopped fucking liver. Fucking guy is just legs cut out from underneath him, totally fucked now. It's great. It's wonderful. Love it. My favorite guy.
I know.
Fucking rude. It's me, Use. It's me, oh me. Okay.
It
Great.
sucks because I was just getting into Gunther coming back to the program. I like the character. In ring work is good. He looks way better than he did when I was seeing him debut. Just everything is improved, and now it looks like they're just gonna bury him, and it's kind of sucks.
Well, I don't know if it's a total burial, but it's like cuts out his momentum completely, and he's not going to be working with a real main event star at WrestleMania. I would have loved to see him work with CM Punk. Even, fuck Seth Rollins, even fuck anybody but this. But this is what we have.
Rare Tricks hit it on the head over in the Kick Chat. He said, suffer Ashton because the 90 IQ guys buy more shirts. And we've been saying Cody Rhodes' momentum has probably tapered off. So WWE needs someone else to sell that merch. And that's probably exactly why they're going with this right now. They know this is season for that. So
I don't know. It's just the guy can't wrestle. And it's beyond that. I don't necessarily think you have to be a super moveset, incredible, like in-ring worker, but the promos aren't there. In my opinion, the character work isn't there. There's nothing there other than the chant of Yeet and the entrance theme. That's all I'm seeing. And I'd love to be proven wrong. I've seen him do some good work in the Bloodline storyline, but right now, to me, this ain't it. Yeah. And then Pat McAfee should be fucking ashamed of himself. Doing the Uso dance like that on national TV, it's like some retarded Disney Channel vibes crossed with a gay porno. Straight up fucking retarded pelvic thrust mongoloid shit from Pat McAfee. This is a grown-ass man. You know what I mean? This guy played in the NFL. And, the kickers are never beating the allegations at this point. You're gay! And you'll never be respected because Pat McAfee sucks cock through a straw.
I'm serious. I wrote this down word for word that I think it was Cole said, don't they have pills for this? And then McAfee says, well, they have drinks and they have pills and everyone's trying to do it. And I was like, what is that a reference to? Like, what are you talking about? Even if that's a joke. There's kids out there with Jey, dancing in the fucking aisle. Like, what are you talking about?
No,
what is this commentary?
It's very strange because they can't seem to really decide on who the audience is for this show anymore. During that PG era, it was very clear it was for kids. Now it's getting a bit more adult oriented, but then there's also this like childish, silly shit Disney Channel vibe still going on. Like that stink really hasn't come off fully.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'd like to see them actually commit to a legitimate, more mature direction for the show, but I don't think we're ever going to really get it. So anyway, Rhea Ripley backstage. Rhea says she's tired of waiting for Charlotte's decision. She says it feels like Charlotte is stalling, trying to stay relevant. I thought this was a retarded thing to say. She won the Royal Rumble. She is relevant. She's going to be main eventing the women's WrestleMania because she won the Royal Rumble. So why would she need to stall in order to remain relevant? It just felt like she was throwing out buzzwords like that are trending today, like relevant. It doesn't really make any fucking sense what Rhea said. And also, I'm getting tired of these backstage interviews that they're doing. They do way too many of them throughout the show. And every time they cut to one of these little backstage interviews, it's completely inconsequential and meaningless. Is it not?
Yeah, it feels like they just need them as time killers to set up for whatever the next big thing is they're doing, and they need to keep it moving. I have noticed there's way less commercials. Like, there used to be way more commercials on wrestling, and now they've reduced the amount of commercials. But because of that, now it seems like these are their transitioning filler segments instead. But I agree that they're not very good.
I think they should cut this half hour of fat and just have the show be 2 hours. I'm begging you. There gets to be a certain point where it's like, I'm watching this shit and I'm like, man, like, it's too long. It's too much wrestling at any one fucking time.
They're definitely, the sweet spot was always 2 hours, and it does feel now like there's definitely extra shit in there that could be cut, and I don't know why it's in there. It's just below, it should be 2 hours in my, I don't get it.
Then Io Sky comes up to her and says, "You cost me WrestleMania. I'm coming for you." Then Rhea says, "I can't wait." I felt like this was superfluous because of what happens later on.
Yeah.
Where she then agrees to give Io Sky the match. Why not just have that happen right now? Why? Why not? Like, I don't know. We have to have 2 segments of them interacting. It doesn't really make any fucking sense to me. It's just because that was throwaway. It was nothing. Nothing comes of that.
Yep. It's just a filler match later on in the night too. Yeah, exactly. It never even should have taken place actually, but we'll see when we talk about it.
Then there's a video package for American Made versus War Raiders for the title. I thought the video package was pretty well done. I was surprised they did a video package for it, to be honest. But it was cool to get a little bit of hype, a little bit of a preview for that. Then we got Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan versus Damage Control. What did you think of this match, Phil?
Let's see. So my notes are that basically it's a solid back and forth wrestling match. You know, this is Dakota Kai returning from injury. I guess she had been out for a little bit, so it was her first match back. Lots of fast tags for the Liv and Raquel duo, who seem to be pretty polished as a team. I had actually never seen them team up before, but I guess they've been tagging now for a while. Like, Raquel's been her bodyguard for a good amount, so you can tell they have that chemistry and even moveset that kind of builds off of each other. Liv reminded me a lot of how Alexa Bliss used to wrestle. I think Liv has evolved since the last time I saw her, that now she has that kind of style, and even that presentation, like the way she dresses almost looks like Alexa from back in the day. I said, Raquel's face looks like the Wicked Witch of the West, and I just can't stop seeing that in my head. It's really bothering me during this match. Not that that's her fault. So at one point, there was a weird spot that happened where Io Sky does this missile drop kick. And then Michael Cole says, and then the kip up. But she didn't do the kip up yet. And then she kipped up. And I was like, so obviously he's getting the calls because he called it before it even happened in the ring. And it was really bizarre. And it just was, it ended up getting a lot more sloppy near the end of the match.
Yes.
I did like, there was a double team where I think like Raquel put Io up onto the corner. And then there was like a super code breaker off of the top from Liv, and it was weird because Liv hit this code breaker like 3 times during the match, and they keep calling it the code breaker. I'm like, wait a minute, why are they calling it the code breaker? Because Jericho is their competition now. And I found that very bizarre that they kept saying codebreaker over and over during the match. I was like, oh, does it mean something? You know what I mean? Sometimes you get these little hints, but maybe not. And then the end of the match was where the Botchfest started, where Raquel is doing the spot. She's done this before. She grabs Liv by the legs and she's using her as like a human battering ram, a human weapon. And there's just some kind of a misbroadcast, like wrong information there. She swings her the wrong way and her head legitimately, I think it hit one of the girls' like knees or chest pieces. And she gets gashed open and it's pretty bad. There's a good amount of blood coming out of her head.
Well, and she got bruised bad by it too. Like the backstage scene later on, you could see she kind of almost had a black eye from it.
Yeah.
So this was dangerous. Part of the problem is I don't think Raquel is actually strong enough to do the spot. Like she was struggling to swing her around and she didn't have full control. So she shouldn't be doing that if she can't control it. And it's not like Liv is a huge fucking Goliath of a woman, you know, pretty petite when it comes to women wrestlers. So it was just a big fucking disaster to see that. She's going to get somebody fucking hurt. It was sloppy. I liked some of the offense throughout the match. I actually thought, it was a lot better than the other women's match that happened.
Oh, yes.
It was a fun enough match. It's just a shame that, the spot was dangerous and sloppy towards the end, but went about 15 minutes and, probably a 3-star match, But, I didn't like that Liv and Raquel lost.
Yeah.
I don't know why Damage Control won.
It was confusing because Liv and Raquel, I believe, are the #1 contenders for the women's title. So to have them lose this match makes them like not have momentum going into their match coming up. And there's no consequence to the match. Like, why did it even happen? Nothing is a result of it. It really felt like a filler match.
To me, is they're doing this 50-50 booking with them where they're winning one week, losing the next week. How about we give them a sustained push and have them go over, especially because Judgment Day's hurting right now. JD is out. Damian's left the group. Rhea's left the group. But they're still really over, especially when you go to that AJ Styles segment later on. Dominic is like the most over heel on the entire fucking roster to the point where he can't even get words out. They hate him so much. And they're chanting against him so hard. So I don't know. I don't really like Damage Control. I don't really see them ever being like big marketable stars. I know a lot of people like the Japanese women and the Japanese wrestlers. But for me, it's like there's a bunch of these Japanese women. They're all basically the same. None of them can speak English. None of them really have a character or ever have storylines. They're decent wrestlers. But for me, it's like, obviously, Liv Morgan is marketable. Judgment Day is marketable. Have them win. Push them. There's money in that. I don't understand the stop-start push with this. I think they should be the tag team champions, I think.
Yeah. It's funny you're mentioning the Japanese female wrestlers because I remember when Asuka first hit the company, her gimmick, because she couldn't speak English, right? She was all broken English. Her gimmick was she was just unstoppable, right? No one is ready for Asuka. And she had like the longest unbeaten streak. She immediately became the women's champion. It was just dominating. And then the moment she hit the women's roster, the main roster, she wrestles Charlotte, loses the match, and that was it. Like, she's been in the company, right? But where has there really been giant momentum again for Asuka ever since then? It's like she got deflated.
Not really.
And same thing with Io Sky. Unless they get a good plot line for her, she'll always be part of a faction or a group, and I just don't see her.
I'm of the opinion there should just be one Japanese women's wrestler. Why does there need to be 5 or 6 Japanese women's wrestlers? They're all the same person. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I swear, like, I know Jason in chat, perma fucking... Actually, I jerk off to the Japanese women wrestlers because it's like my anime. It's a big L take. I know he's like, oh, I gotta jerk off to Japanese women. But it's all the same fucking shit. They have no personalities whatsoever, man. I don't know what to tell you. Unless you're gooning to it, which I guess is the whole purpose of the women anyway. So, may as well. Match was decent. Then we have women's elimination.
Nice transition.
Yeah, it's great. Women, yeah, JEC, more of a Chad here. I'm of the opinion we don't need the women's wrestling, period. This next match made me feel that way. This match was a fucking embarrassment. Stinker.
Yeah.
Shit match. Don't know what happened here. These are supposedly two of the best women on the whole fucking earth, apparently. Bayley, who's been working in WWE for over a decade at the highest level. She's been at WrestleMania. She's worked with everybody. And then you have this Valkyrie girl that everybody seems to rate highly. But I'll just read you my notes. Bayley doesn't even get an entrance.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Yep.
And they're doing this thing now where they try and trick you with the jobber entrance, where then they have the person who has the jobber entrance win. How about we just give them an entrance? How about that? How about we just give supposedly one of the 4 horsewomen, one of the biggest women in the company, an entrance? How about that? Instead of this weird presentation. I wrote, Lyra looks soft in the belly. She's not fat, but she's clearly not as good a shape as she should be in. I don't know what it was. She was just looking a little soft around the middle, a little doughy. I don't know what the fuck that's about. I wrote immediately, holy fuck, this match is so slow and sloppy. There was a spot where Bayley snapmares Lyra down very sloppily, the snapmare. And then Lyra sits there awkwardly. She's like looking behind her shoulder to see when Bayley is coming. It looked obvious, the cooperation. And then I don't know what Bayley was trying to do while she was down there for the snapmare. She like comes in with like, I don't know if it was supposed to be an uppercut to the spine or what she was trying to do, but then it turns into a reversal of a backslide, but it didn't look right. And then there's a series of reversals after that that are all really slow, not executed well, and they're obviously cooperating with each other. It's not a struggle at all. Right. Looks super phony. Bayley ends the lame roll-up sequence with a decent forearm, and then the drop kick to the outside to commercial. So already I'm like, ooh, this is bad. We come back from commercial, Lyra with an enziguri, and then a spinning kick to the head. I wrote her strikes look decent. Whenever she was doing strikes, it was good, or like a high-flying move, it landed. But her grappling, her actual wrestling, and her chain moves and stuff, those sequences were bad. She ends up missing from the top rope. Bayley, this was where it just went off the fucking rails. Bayley went for this flying sunset flip. Do you know what I'm talking about here?
Yes. It's in my notes.
She totally fucking failed.
Yep.
Brutal botch where she went into the turnbuckle. Like, massive fail. And there was just not enough space.
Right.
The timing was off, and there wasn't enough space to do the move. And so it was bad. Then Lyra sold it like she was hurt, which she wouldn't have been because the move wasn't hit properly, which was a fail. And then Bayley went off the top for a splash, and Lyra got the knees up, which kind of saved it because she didn't sell it like she was totally hurt all the way. Maybe she was playing possum, but not really. It was a bad sequence.
Yeah.
It took me way out of the match. Then I wrote, oh my fucking God. Now Lyra fucking botches the tornado DDT. This is really rough. That tornado DDT botch, like, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck happened there. It just is unacceptable at this level. On Monday Night Raw, on Netflix, in front of millions of people to put on a match like this. Bayley then hits the belly-to-belly, and Lyra kicks out. And I wrote, that should have been the end of this abomination. They should have said, we don't have the chemistry tonight. It's not fucking working. And pulled the fucking plug. But oh no, the match had to The match had to keep going.
There were many more botches to come.
Thanks, Need Pimp, for 5 subs. We're getting there. One of these times he's going to drop the 50 bomb. I can feel it. I can feel it. Duns Felter's saying, just strip the IC title off that bitch already. Man, I'm telling you, this was not good. And can you blame Bayley? I don't know. She's supposed to be the veteran, you know, the ring general of this women's division. I don't know who the blame falls on for this. Okay, Bayley gets shot off. Okay, Bayley lifts her up for a power move.
Oh, no.
And it's a total disaster. I think she let go too early. It looked shit. It was another botch. I'm not sure exactly what she was going for, but the timing was off. She released it. It looked terrible.
Yep.
Then Bayley gets shot off into the ropes, and that's off. She wasn't running the ropes right. I wrote these two have really bad chemistry. Then Valkyrie finally hits the tornado DDT right on the floor, which was good. Then she hits a fisherman suplex on the floor, and then one in the ring. And I wrote, those looked good for a 2 count. Then they fight on the top turnbuckle. Bayley goes for her finisher, but Lyra fights it off with headbutts. Bayley drops to the apron, and then Lyra hit a flying leg drop that looked good. So, you know, they started to get a little bit of a momentum, a little bit of a flow back in this match, but it was already blown. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bayley ends up getting a roll-up finish after another couple of reversals that didn't look great. As I wrote here, they seem to be doing a little bit better towards the end, and then the finish was just shitty and flat.
It was terrible.
Roll-up to try and protect Lyra.
It looked like they were going for a roll-up, and the roll-up bounced off the ropes. Like, it was too close to the ropes, so they completely went the wrong direction. And then they were like, well, fuck it, just end the match because we don't know how to even fucking solve this train wreck. And then she rolled up again like a second time, and that was the end of the match. You know that's not how it was supposed to end. Like, they probably had a bunch more planned, and they were like, fuck this train wreck, just end it now.
They had to just pull the fucking shoot on this match. And they're doing the roll-up a lot in this new Triple H era. I don't know. He's in love with the roll-up, the package finish. I hate that finish. I really don't like that finish. I think it should be rarely done. Unless, like, it's a wrestler whose gimmick is they're like a grappler and they're like a technical wrestler or a collegiate wrestler, then I don't mind, like, package, like, pins and stuff like that. But, yeah, this was bad. I gave this match 1 3/4 stars. It was it was such an abomination. If I actually had to give it stars, I'd be like, I don't think I want to. I think I just want to, like, reserve my stars for a match that should have been successful. You know what I mean? Like, it could be a full-on 1 star, but, like, there was enough that went right towards the end that I didn't feel right giving it a flat 1 star. Because there are matches that are just total fucking stinkers with, like, Great Khali and shit like that. but you know, like, this was not great. By the way, we got Dat Pie over there for $5. He says, the Jap women wrestlers are great in the ring, solid for gooning. EO is mummy, but they need to make an English class mandatory for them, Duolingo at minimum. Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. Like, I get what you're saying, and there is a place for them, but, you know. And then we got Dat Pie over there for another 2. Botchamania is feasting lately. Lyra's undercooked.
I was actually going to say that this is like Matthew from Botchamania. For those who don't know, he makes one of the best botch montage shows on the internet for pro wrestling. And he must have loved this Raw. He's going to get so much fucking content out of this Raw because it was just botch after fucking botch. So shout out to Matthew. I haven't seen him in a zillion years.
Duns Felter said Jeff Hardy versus Sting at Victory Road. I was actually there for Victory Road in 2011, I think it was, at Universal Studios at a family vacation. And I got to see Sting as world champion.
Wow.
Which, like, I don't know. It was some bad fucking TV back then for TNA. Holy fuck. But it was free. It was free to go if you had a Universal Park admission. And I got to see, like, Hulk Hogan and Sting and stuff. And Jeff Hardy, although Jeff was on drugs and shit like that. He was fucked out of his mind. That was a brutal fucking 1-star match. Okay, then we had a video package aired featuring Penta,
Penta.
saying he has zero fear of any challenge. Penta called Ludwig Kaiser a coward. He trashed Pete Dunne. Penta said he was coming for them. Penta ended it by saying Ciro Maida. I felt like it was kind of tough to understand him during this promo package.
Yeah, he's badass. Like, he looks totally awesome. But if you don't understand Spanish, how are you supposed to know what he's actually saying? Like, if you get Spanish, you probably think he's like a fucking awesome wrestler. But if you don't understand Spanish, this is like the third time they've had something go over in Spanish. And the thing is, I think that's the demographic they want. They want him to be the new guy who's going to get the Spanish speaking audience. He's the replacement for Rey Mysterio, who's obviously on the way out. So I think they don't really care. But for the common person watching, I thought it looked great. The flames coming up and everything. His outfit looks great. He's making the hand symbols. I was like, he's cool. And then he says something in Spanish. I said, I don't know what the fuck he said.
Well, DJ Depression is saying in chat the music was way too loud. Like, the audio mixing, I think, was a bit off during this segment, which made it hard to understand him. And he has a thick accent to begin with, and then he's speaking part in Spanish or whatever. I was disappointed there was no Penta match this week.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I think he should be wrestling every week. And I don't really like what they're doing, recycling these guys for him. Like, they're going to do Pete Dunne. I like Pete Dunne, and I think they had a good match and stuff, but, like, they're recycling guys for him.
Already.
I think that they should have him just go through, like, all of the guys. You know what I mean? Like, why not? Or, you know, at least up until after Elimination Chamber, and then maybe work him into a program with another luchador or Rey Mysterio. Maybe that's the direction that they go with him. But I was disappointed he wasn't on TV this week. Because that's what happened next. Ludwig Kaiser interviewed.
Yeah.
He said, Pete Dunne interrupted Kaiser. And
that was lame. I actually thought the Penta segment was good. And when they came out to talk their half, I was like, this is boring. They didn't have to do this. They could have just skipped this fucking part, right? Like, I didn't really get it.
All these, like, backstage ones they're doing, what does this really add to the match next week?
Nothing.
It adds nothing. You may as well just throw the match on fucking cold. There's no storyline. There's nothing at stake. There's nothing added by this. These just feel like filler segments. Okay. Then we got Lyra Valkyrie was backstage talking to American Alpha. And then Ivy and the Creed brothers showed up. And Niall was mocking Lyra for losing. Again, it's just like another total throwaway backstage segment that didn't add anything. Okay, then we got AJ Styles. AJ has his old entrance theme back, which he had at the Rumble. They're continuing with that. You know, he starts talking about how, like, 4 months ago, you know, he came back and he was going to get his career on track, but he got injured again, and he still has gas in the tank. He has a long to-do list. He wanted to remind the locker room that he's still the phenomenal AJ Styles. This part in this promo, I was like, very milquetoast, very plain, generic. I'm back and I'm going to do this. I like AJ Styles. I thought he did okay with the promo, but it wasn't anything amazing, this first part. What did you think, Phil?
Yeah, because the thing is, he's coming out and he's all pumped up, right? But do you notice what he's not saying? He's not saying, and I'm coming for the title, and I'm going to do that. Instead, he's just like, oh, I'm back. And like, that means you're mid-card. That means you're going to be mid-card for a while.
Where's the direction for this? Like, what is he actually doing? Then Dominic came out along with Carlito, and Dominic was trying to talk, and they were just booing him hard. He has great heat, and there's an AJ Styles chant, and then Dom was trying to say Judgment Day runs Raw, but they booed him so loud that you couldn't hear a fucking thing he was saying. Dom, you suck chants. I saw some guy earlier trying to say it's X-Pac heat. This isn't X-Pac heat. The fans are into hating Dom.
Yeah.
This guy is authentically over, and he's doing great with what he's doing. And then this is where...
There's a difference between we don't like someone because we legit don't like him, or we don't like him because he is a really good heel and we like the character of him being a heel, and that's what Dom has. He's done a great job with that. So that's great that he has that heat.
And then I really liked AJ Styles, promo that he was cutting here, where he's like, "Where's Damian Priest? Where's Rhea Ripley? Where's Finn at?" And then he goes after Carlito for wearing skinny jeans, and how he ends up the segment is saying, and I thought this was good, and it felt like this was like authentically AJ Styles. You'll always just be Ray's, bitch ass kid or some shit like that. And I thought that was good. And so I thought that part of the promo was actually pretty fun. And I was into that more so than that first part where it was just kind of a generic return promo. And it set up a match between them next week.
Yes.
AJ Styles and Dom. It's probably going to be an AJ win.
I can't imagine how it wouldn't be, but at the same time, I don't know.
Unless there's like crazy cheating from Dominic and they want to do that feud to WrestleMania. I'm not really sure what they're going to do with AJ Styles. I don't really know.
Yeah.
Hopefully they get a good match with him. They get him in there with somebody. Maybe it'll be Finn Balor and AJ Styles, something like that if he's working with the Judgment Day guys. But it's hard to tell. The biggest problem right now with Raw and all of this is there's no clear direction for anybody or anything. It just feels like everything is in a holding pattern.
Yes.
And we have this, there might be this or there might be that. There's nothing where we know it's like, okay, this is where WrestleMania is leading to. And I would like to see more of that at this point. It seems like, okay, we're going to do Elimination Chamber, and then, we have a month left to build it. And I would like to see the build start right after Royal Rumble, where we kind of know where all the feuds are going and we really build it up to a crescendo.
Right.
And it's just not really, this period after Royal Rumble hasn't been right.
Right.
It just feels off.
The best word is meandering. It's just meandering all around. There's nothing definitive. There's nothing interesting. You're just kind of killing time, meandering in a circle. And you feel like you could have skipped Raw this week. I mean, we're going to talk about the rest of it, but it feels like you could have just completely skipped Raw this week and you wouldn't have really affected anything. That's sad.
So, like, Seth Rollins comes out for this interview.
Ugh.
Again, he looks really stupid with these rhinestone goggles on. Does anybody really believe he's going to win the chamber? Like, he's talking about how he's going to win the chamber.
Not at all.
And the problem is we're back to this, like, Royal Rumble type promo where everybody's going to cut how they're going to win the chamber. And it's just the same generic, I'm going to win the chamber promo. And there's nothing to it. There's no heat. There's no feud. There's no angle. It's just, okay, we have this big event coming up, and I'm going to say I'm going to win it. And that was the vast majority of this up until Finn Balor showed up. And then Balor says, this is the downfall of Rollins. You lost to CM Punk. You lost your mind at the Royal Rumble. And, Rollins told Balor he was standing in his way, but after next week, Balor won't be standing at all. And
it's so lame.
It's just lame.
The other funny part is Finn goes, and at the Rumble, you lost your mind. I'm thinking, oh, yeah, remember that plot line where he just went crazy and attacked Roman and no one's talking about it anymore? Like, it doesn't even matter. Like,
not talking about Roman.
Right.
That's what I don't understand. Why aren't you talking about how you hate Roman Reigns, how he screwed you? Talk about your past. Start setting that up. Or even just a throwaway line just to plant the seed of it.
Right.
Or talk about Punk or something. But no, it was just so generic and plain. It didn't build towards anything. Didn't add anything to the chamber match. And then I wrote, when they had this face-to-face between Seth Rollins and Finn Balor, just the visual of it, I think, buried Finn Balor.
Yeah.
Balor's eyes look goofy as fuck.
They're like, this one's so much taller than the other, and they're not even they don't even look like equals. You know what I'm saying?
No,
in this standoff at all.
Balor just doesn't have the look of a star. He doesn't have that charisma and intensity that Seth Rollins had. Like, I could tell that Seth Rollins, I'm not a super big fan of Seth Rollins. I don't think he's that main event super level that they want him to be, but he's way above where Finn Balor is at. There are levels to this, and the intensity and the charisma that Seth had face to face with Finn Balor just exposed Balor as a B+ player at best.
Yeah.
And I wrote, this is just filler until Roman comes back. This is, you're a TV program for 2 weeks for Seth Rollins. And so that's where it's at this point. Okay. Then Logan Paul, Rey Mysterio were shown separately as they prepared for their match. A-Town Down Under were interviewed. I don't know, like just a bunch of filler backstage segments. Then they teased Braun Breaker and AJ Styles, so maybe
that
where
could be
it's going
something.
for
That
wrestling.
definitely could be something. I think maybe he'll get past Dom next week, and then it'll be him and Bron, and that I think would be acceptable for WrestleMania. So
I think so. I think that would be good for both guys, for sure. Then we had the World Tag Team Championship, War Raiders versus the Creed brothers. This match I thought was really fun.
yeah,
I really enjoyed it. These were big guys with big boy moves. The War Raiders have some great.
that's how they used to. Technical teams used to always do that. The very fast tags going back and forth and all of that. And then with Ivar and Eric, they were doing more high impact moves. They were doing the big slams, pick them up, slam them on the other guy. And that worked really, really well. It was a good contrast of the two styles. By the way, I think my internet is having some issues right now. So.
I see that. Yeah, it was cutting out there. I said shit.
Yeah. I don't know. Hopefully it comes back.
Through.
Yeah. So anyway, it was a great match because it was two completely different conflicting styles, and I enjoyed it because of that. So.
The problem was it was looking like it was going to be such a great match, and then bang, the cheap disqualification finish.
Oh yeah,
with the title belt.
It was awful.
And it's like, man, this really was like match of the night until that point. And so I guess this is going to be followed up on at Elimination Chamber or something like that. Then we saw Judgment Day in the clubhouse. There wasn't a whole lot to this. Again, every single time they're cutting to these backstage segments.
Yeah.
It's not really adding a whole lot.
The funny part is, I didn't even know Finn was still with Judgment Day. Like, he hasn't been doing anything with them for weeks, so I didn't even realize that he was, like, still the leader or whatever. And then he comes in, and he's basically calling them all failures. You suck, you screwed this up, you screwed this up, you screwed this up. I was like, oh, yeah, he's still in charge? Like, it's just so weird. Like, he's going another direction than the whole rest of the group. Is it not obvious they're teasing a breakup here? I mean, come on. It's so easily obvious.
I mean, this faction is starting to disintegrate big time. We'll see what ends up happening with it. Then we had the Rhea Ripley, Io Sky segment where Rhea Ripley says that she's going to give her a title shot. Now, who gives Rhea Ripley the authority to give out title shots like this? You think, like, doesn't Adam Pearce have to authorize this, or Triple H or something? But we'll overlook that for a second. My biggest question is, like, why have them interact at the beginning of the show? Like I said, why not just have this segment to set up the match? And then also, it's not at Elimination Chamber. It's on the Raw after Elimination Chamber. And that's like 3 weeks away.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's kind of stupid in my opinion. Then we had the CM Punk promo. What did you think about the CM Punk promo, Phil?
Well, let me see here. So basically I said, he starts the promo saying, I'm not mad at Jey. He's going to go for Gunther. So you know what? I'm now going to aim for Cody, and Cody, I'm coming for you. And I think we kind of already knew that. Like, if Punk wins the Elimination Chamber or whatever, he's going to be going for Cody, because now we know that Jey's going after Gunther. It's a given. And he talks about how Cena didn't qualify for the Chamber, but you know what? I'm going to beat him anyway. It's not a big deal. Cody, I'm still coming for you. Drew, I already beat you in Hell in a Cell. I hate Seth Rollins. Basically, he's just kind of going down the laundry list, right? And yeah, I get it. He has to do it. But at the same time, again, it feels meandering. It doesn't feel like this is creating momentum. It's just the same thing again for the 10th time.
It's the same as his Royal Rumble promos, but now it's the Chamber.
Right.
It's the exact same thing. There's people marking out for him, shitting on Cena. It's very soft shitting on Cena. Very toothless, very lame. When you compare it to the promos that he used to cut on Cena 10, 15 years ago,
right,
to what we're getting today, when you compare the CM Punk of 10 years ago to the CM Punk of today, it's no fucking comparison. The guy is just totally neutered and ballless. I'm trying to support it. I'm trying to mark out for it and enjoy it. But let's be real, guys. This CM Punk fucking sucks right now.
Yeah.
It's just not what it needs to be. This guy needs a direction change big time. He needs something to shake him up. I think he needs a heel turn. Get in AEW, he was a baby face. We're all screaming, please, we need heel CM Punk, heel CM Punk. Didn't get it for the time he was there. Now he's in WWE, and his gimmick is that I'm happy to be here and I'm a company guy. That's not the CM Punk that we want to see. I want to see like cult leader CM Punk, like straight edge society CM Punk. The voice of the voiceless stuff, I guess, is dead because he is just a corporate sellout and a fucking shill now.
Right.
But maybe there was a way to turn him heel that way, where he's so much of a sellout and so much of a shill, and he's gone so far beyond what he used to be that he could kind of be like how Mick Foley was, like a suck ass, kiss ass to Mr. McMahon back in the day. That sort of a character. You know what I mean? Like corporate punk or something like that.
It's weird. I wonder how much here is real and how much here is fake. And what I mean by that is this Punk 100% scripted, or is it that Punk realizes this is it? Like, this is his run in WWE. He already went to AEW. He's out of there. He ain't going back. So now he just basically has to do exactly as he's told. He can't be the guy to be outspoken anymore. He's got to just do what he's told, even if it sucks. Because this, I equate this to when he quit. Remember when he quit, he was in the shitty plot line where he had a feud with Kane, and he was going to wrestle Hunter at WrestleMania for literally no reason. He's like, well, fuck this. I don't want to do this. And he walked out. But where's he going to walk out to now? TNA? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so he has to just do what he's told, and he has nothing to do. He just repeats the lines. He goes through the motions. He does the matches, and it's kind of different from what you remember from the old Punk back in the day, for sure.
Then Logan Paul came out. He did a promo. What are your thoughts, Phil? I thought he was pretty poised during this promo. He got a lot of good heel heat.
I will say, I will give him credit because people don't like this guy. It's apparent, right? He comes out and he's getting just as many boos as Dom pretty much was. He can't get a word in edgewise, but he's continuing with the promo. He's staying focused. He's not getting rattled. I've seen full-time professional wrestlers get more rattled than he did in the ring with those people cheering at him. So I give him credit for that. But as a character, I don't know if what's his character supposed to be? That he's just full of himself and that like he's this hot shit because he's an influencer or whatever.
He's Logan Paul. I mean, the thing is it's quite amazing that Logan Paul is even there to begin with, because he is such a big name and such a big deal. And he's one of the owners of Prime, which is one of the largest beverage companies in the world. And he's one of the most famous guys out there. So, like, I think it's a good thing that he's involved with WWE, although I know Phil is down on Logan Paul because it should have been him, but it is what it is. And then, he gets good reactions. People are reacting to him. And we have this match, Rey Mysterio versus Logan Paul. And I think Phil's got a lot to say here about this. He's going to bury Logan Paul. So let's turn it over to Phil. Phil, get your bitter old man rage out on Logan Paul. Bury this young buck.
All right. So Logan Paul is a jobber, jabroni, scrub, waste of time. No, I'm just kidding. So I took a lot of notes on the match, and I'm just going to go a little bit play-by-play through it. The thing is, when you watch the match, it's very hard to tell what's going wrong. Because when you have a match like this, you don't know, was it Rey Mysterio who screwed it up? Was it Logan Paul who screwed it up? Or was it both? Because sometimes it's both. It's a complete miscommunication between two. And then you get lost in the match. Like, they don't know where they are in the spots. So the match starts, literally the moment the match starts, there's like a botch. So Rey has to go to like a different armbar move because it's like they screwed it up, and already it looks really, really awkward. And I don't know if it was Logan or him. Constantly during the match, these two are having to like go to the corner and have a conversation about what's going on because apparently
Yes.
someone's lost in the sequence. They don't know where they're supposed to be in the match. What are we doing next? What are we doing now? And it's just, I hate to say, this is something that used to happen with John Cena back in the day when he was just coming up, is he would talk a lot in the ring. They used to say you talk too much. That was part of Botchamania, the whole segment. You talk too
Yes.
much. You'd be
You could
way
pick
too
up
loud.
his voice on the mic all the time with Cena. Even in later years, he would always be picked up and you could hear him talk. But
Right. So awful spots back and forth. At one point, it's so confusing. Like Ray is yelling at Logan Paul, "Come outside the ring to fight me." So he does, and then he just gets like splatted. And like, what was the point of that? Like, it didn't go anywhere. Why did you bait him outside the ring? The whole match just seems like it's choreographed really weird and poor. And I wonder who wrote, because, you know, there's people who choreograph the matches too, not just the wrestlers. I wonder who booked the match and who did this, because it seemed like they just didn't really get it. They didn't understand what the two were capable of. At one point, there's a double senton into a springboard moonsault, which they called the Lion Salt. And I said, wait a
Yes.
minute. Lion Salt. So now they're saying Codebreaker and Lion Salt in the same show.
They're
What is
doing-
going on?
It's very interesting. They do a lot of references to Chris Jericho and they treat him with a lot of reverence and respect. But meanwhile, Chris Jericho's out there. Every shoot promo or shoot interview he does, he shits on WWE
Yeah.
and Vince McMahon and absolutely fucking buries them. And I don't know if they want him back or why they would want him back. Because let me tell you, Jericho is the shits right now in fucking AEW. He's old. He's fucking washed up, man. And he is just brutalizing that show, man. Brutalizing.
Jeez. Okay, so at this point, there's even more talking because they're confused. Though I think for me, the weirdest spot, okay, Ray calls for the 619. The whole crowd goes, 619. And he turns to do it, and Logan's just standing right next to him. He's like, weren't you supposed to be over there in the ropes? That's what I threw you over there for. So he's like, oh, well. And he just starts punching him instead. I was like, it's such a weird match. So awkward. Logan eventually lands a springboard after that. But then there's a reversal. And it's like Logan almost forgets to kick out of a springboard DDT. And it looks like he thought the match was going to end, but it didn't. And then Ray got a move. I screwed it up. I put power boat. I probably meant to type power bomb. And he's supposed to get a pin here, but the ref can't count because
the
shoulders aren't down. So, but then the ref counts anyway. And you could see that Logan Paul's shoulder was still up when he started counting. Anyway, it's like he just gave up on it. He's like, fuck it. And he just starts counting anyway.
Yeah.
So then the end of the match, let's see here, is this new finisher. Okay, so it's Logan Paul has a new move called the Pulverizer.
Yeah.
And it's funny because the first thing he does, he goes and he punches with his right hand, and immediately the commentary knows, oh, this is our time, right? So Logan Paul has a titanium plate in his right hand, and I'm thinking, I never heard of this before. I guess he does, but I never heard that he did. And this really calls back to me Lex Luger, how Lex Luger always had the metal plate in his forearm, and that was his big setup at the end of the match. So he hits him with his titanium plate right hand. And then he has the new finisher. I only saw it once. It's like he lifts you up. It's like a real spin, like a torque move, like he's spinning you and hits you in your neck at the same time. I'll be honest, I liked it. I actually liked the move. I was impressed by it.
It was a cool finisher. Like, I think the positives of the match, the finisher was cool. That move that he did off the top turnbuckle where he had the fireman's carry, although his legs were shaking when he tried to get him up for it, and he did this like reverse flipping fireman's carry move. It was really athletic and explosive. That was really cool. I thought, him doing the springboard moonsault was a good spot.
Yes.
So there were some athletic things that he was doing. He was able to do Hangman's lariat move, although he missed it, where he like jumps over the ropes and does the close. That's actually a hard move to do. CM Punk failed to do that move on a number of occasions. That's not easy to do. So Logan Paul has a lot of athleticism. He is just a very naturally gifted person. It's just a question of polishing him and getting him to where he's completely ready for prime time. And the question with Logan Paul is he going to commit to wrestling enough
Yeah.
get to that level.
This is
Because
the few months he will, because they're going to build him for WrestleMania. But if he disappears until SummerSlam after that, then it's never going to get to that level, right?
Perestroika says like a Green Bay plunge or something. He did a standing Green Bay plunge at one point where he had him up on his shoulders and then like dive forward. But what I'm talking about is he had him like across his body and then flipped backwards like a moonsault, which it was a cool move. But yeah, I don't know, because Logan Paul, he doesn't need wrestling. You know,
Right.
he's partners in Prime, which is making so much money. He has the celebrity boxing stuff going on. He has his crypto scams and whatever the fuck else. So will he truly commit enough to be a wrestler? Who knows? But I will say this was the worst main event of Raw so far by a
Oh.
long shot.
And the sad
It's
fact is, it could have been good, but I don't know what happened in the match with these miscommunications. It just fell flat with so many botches. And, okay, let me say how the show ended, because this
It
is,
was terrible. Go ahead.
in my opinion, top 10 worst wrestling show endings I've ever seen in my life. I'm serious. This was like the biggest botched ending. So Logan Paul hits the pulverizer. He gets the pin on Rhea. He's walking up the ramp, and it's obvious they didn't tell him what to do. So first of all, he just starts singing his own song lyrics for no reason. It's like, why is he singing his own theme song on the way out? Then all of a sudden, you hear one of the announcers say, "Oh my God, the New Day, what are they?" They cut to the ring, and it shows one of the New Day members is running up behind Rhea, and the show just ends. Goes to black.
That was it. That was it. It's a, what do you mean? What do you mean that's it? And it's like, we have unlimited time. It's not like it's on broadcast TV and they have to start the next show. This is on Netflix. They have unlimited time. Why? And it's like, listen, the New Day doesn't even belong in the main event. Do you know what I mean? By the way, guys, let's get 5 subs over on Kick right now.
Yeah.
Let's hit it so Phil gets a goal tonight, for God's fucking sakes. I think it's been a fun show. I feel like it's been a high energy show. We've reviewed Raw. We went over the releases. We sprinkled in a bit of Grill Phil. Let's reward it, guys. Let's hit that goal. Let's see Phil try one of his incredible snacks. The last Japanese snack in the pack. For God's sake, because we're all, you know, like, we've been making it happen.
Do it right now. Let's hit the 300. I'll do the snack right now to end the show. That'll be the end of the show. Let's do it.
Hop in there. Let's hit it. We're so close. We're so close. But yeah, New Day shouldn't be anywhere near the main event of Raw. All of that stuff going on with them and Rey Mysterio, it just feels like it's been going nowhere. They've been spinning their tires. It's been lame. And this was just a weird, flat finish to Raw.
I just don't get it. So the whole match was obviously mischoreographed and mistimed. But the whole point of the match is Logan Paul will go to the chamber. Rey needs to move on to something else. Why would you cut the end of the show? It doesn't make any point of logical sense to do it like that, because you have no idea what happened. Did they beat him up until he was bloody? Did he get away? It's obviously this is going to lead to some kind of a match, but you don't know now because you have to wait until the next time that they continue the plot, which is probably going to be, next week on Raw? So you sit around for a week with your hands up under your ass like this, like, well, see next week what happens. What the fuck? Why would they do that? If there was technical issues, I'd be like, okay, but that was obviously done on purpose, and I don't understand it at all. It's probably one of the worst choreographed endings I've ever seen of Monday Night Raw.
This was the worst episode of Raw this year, the worst episode of the Netflix era, and it felt like a filler episode.
Yeah.
It felt like it didn't advance very much anything. You know what I mean? It's just like very lame. As I said, like this version of Raw is less goofy than the Vince era, but it has a lot of its own problems. It has way too many of these backstage interviews that go nowhere, way too many promos that have no point that go nowhere. A lot of botching in the matches this week, certainly.
Tons.
A lot of roll-up finishes for no fucking reason. Like Triple H has his own weird booking idiosyncrasies. I guess everybody does have.
Yeah.
That they prefer to see finishes this way or that way. But a lot of his tastes and his choices, I just don't agree with. I just don't agree with Jey Uso as the top guy. I don't agree with these roll-up finishes. Go ahead, Phil.
If anything, what's happening now is that I think for a very long time, and by the way, we just got a bunch of subs, and I think that we hit the 300.
Pimp has gifted 5 subs. Rare Tricks with a sub as well. So we got to the 300.
Yes.
We're going to get Phil eating the snack. I'm going to reveal also right now my latest title belt. This is a crazy Mark purchase. You see here, this is the Bret Hart belt, everybody.
Whoa.
It's the Bret Hart Custom Limited Series Championship title. Only 370 of these were made, and they're individually numbered. I have number 211. So you take a look here at this belt.
I'm going to blow this up so they can see it better.
Belt. It says on the title plate there, the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be.
Wow.
It's got like these bedazzles hanging off of it. The plate on it is a lot thicker than a lot of the belts. Now, the funny part about it is the reverse side. Where your dick is where Bret Hart's head is. So I don't know really what they were thinking with the reverse side of this. If you strap it on, it's like Bret sucking your fucking cock or something. But,
and you can play with his shoulder pad tassels on the front of the belt while he's doing it.
And it says, on the one side of it, the excellence. I don't know. I think it's cool. I like it, but what a fucking waste of money, shit. Anyway, and we got John Diaper for another sub as well.
Thank you, John.
So huge support from everybody tonight.
All right.
I think it was a really fun show. Let's get Phil to try this snack.
Yes. Let's see what we got left. I've got 2 left in this Japanese snacks box, and one of them is like tiny, and one of them is like weird. Let's see what's left. So we've got, okay. Oh, we have 3. I thought we only had 2.
I thought there was only 1.
There's 3. I must have miscounted somehow.
Such a shyster, Phil.
All right.
Here you were telling them it was the last snack in the box, and we were getting to the Turkish box.
All right. How about this? I'll do 2. I'll do 2 right now because here's why.
Whoa!
Because we had 300 tonight, so technically that's 2.
Sire, this is too generous.
We'll
2 treats you're gonna eat tonight?
2 treats to end the show tonight. Very special. So what the heck is this?
Let's get like 20 subs right now for Phil eating the second treat. This is insane.
It's like a tiny bag of like...
Is there a booklet that explains it, or did we lose the booklet?
There is a book, because I have no clue what this says. It's in Japanese. It looks like cherries, actually. Like cherries are on the front of it. So it's probably going to be like a cherry-flavored hard candy. There's been a few of these different packs of various hard candies in here. Here we go. Candies and the Ramune or however the hell you pronounce it. It's not the jellies. I've had the jellies already. Okay. Yes. Mochi Ame Mix. A bag of juicy, bite-sized mochi in different fruity flavors. So this one is probably the cherry-flavored mochi candy. Let's give it a taste if I can get it opened here. First of all, it is completely scentless. I smell nothing at all. So nothing there. There's tons of them in this pack. There's probably about a dozen of these. And they are, it's weird because they looked hard, but they actually are like soft. I could squish it like in my fingers. So it is like a jelly.
Is it tangy?
No, it tastes nothing like cherry at all. It just tastes like sugar. It tastes like a sugar cube. Yeah, that's pretty disappointing.
Watering. I can't believe it. Somebody's eating on stream and it's not the fat guy. This is crazy.
We gotta get you to have a treats box, and then we can do it together. There you go.
What a shameless grift. All right, I guess I'll get a treat box, Phil.
All right, I'm gonna be honest. These suck. Like I've had really good ones in this box. This actually kind of sucks.
What a disaster.
Yeah, it doesn't taste like cherry at all. It just tastes like sugar, like you're chewing on gummy sugar. So that's pretty disappointing, actually. Ugh. All right, well, look at the size of this one. It's tiny.
what sort of it? Like the Japanese are outrageous with these portion sizes, bud.
It's insane. Like, did you see the size of the things in the Turkish box? Like, these are huge
Huge.
candy bars and things. This is tiny. So this is, it says milk. So I'm going to assume it's probably milk chocolate. You know, of all the things it could possibly be. But some of these things actually are substitutes. Here it is. This is called Tyrrell chocolate. An adorable little chocolate in one of Tyrrell's many original flavors. It could have been crunch choco, coffee nougat, biscuit almond, milk, strawberry jelly, white chocolate, or cookie. And I got the most generic one, milk chocolate. So,
What is this? Is this milk chocolate?
lame.
This
That's
is
so.
a scam.
This-
Scam alert! Scam alert!
Look at this. Are you kidding? Like, I mean,
Have
it's
to ring the bell for it. It's a scam alert, my friend.
it's just milk chocolate. I mean, you know what it's gonna taste like. It's gonna taste like a
Oh,
square of
man.
milk chocolate. Oh, wait a minute.
He looks like he consumes lots of treats. What is it? Does it taste like shit?
Oh, it was way too sweet. It was like really, really sweet milk chocolate for some reason. I'm like shocked. Like, that reminded me of when I had that Mr. Beast candy bar like a year ago. That was way too sweet. It had like way too much sugar content in it. Oh, I'm not used to it being that sweet. So I didn't like that either, actually. Two tweets were both disasters tonight. I got one left. This is for when I hit my goal, 10 out of 10 to do the DSP tries it. It looks like cartoon.
Let's see 100 subs right now from Iron Chef Kakai. Let's see Iron Chef Kakai come through with the 100 subs so
Wow.
we can hit the 10 and we can fucking make it happen. DSP tries it tomorrow. Come on. Where is the Iron Chef? Where is he?
I don't even know what this is.
Call.
It's like a cartoon ice cream cone. How could this be ice cream? That doesn't make any sense. I have no idea.
Dry ice cream. It's like the astronaut ice cream. You ever see that?
Yeah, I have. I actually had the dehydrated ice cream. It's actually not that
Yeah.
bad. Maybe that's
No.
what it is. I don't know. Maybe. I guess we'll have to see. But I got to hit my next. Oh, it shows a picture of like pouring powder into this like plastic tub, and then you have to add like liquid, and it becomes like foam. What the shit is this? This is the last
What?
one.
Well, let's hit it, guys! Come on, let's get what is it? We need 30 subs right now.
Yeah, it would be 30
We need
subs.
30 subs or $150 bomb.
It's bizarre. The weirdest
Let's
thing.
get it right now. This is the craziest thing ever. Darkside Phil had to follow the instructions on the package to make it.
Yeah,
This isn't just like any regular snack, folks. This is an incredible spectacle to behold.
wow. I'm not even kidding.
Oh,
Because
buddy.
it's Japanese, because I couldn't read it, they actually had to put the instructions in English in the book so you could figure out how to make it, or else you would have not been able to do it right. So, yeah, the last one is like the weirdest one.
Save us, Iron Chef Bukaki! Save us! Let us hit the goal! Where is he?
I don't know.
Where is he? What the fuck, man?
Not here tonight. He's not
This
here tonight.
guy's a dirty snake rat fuck, costing us the goal once again, Phil. I can't believe it. Guess he doesn't want that sword enough.
Oh, well.
I don't know what we're gonna do. Oh well.
I just don't think
I'm
he's a
sure-
wrestling fan, I guess. Oh, well.
He ran out of money. He's poor. You know, it's over. What can we do?
It's all good. We had a good show, right, everyone? This was a good show.
Actually thought this was a really, really fun show. We really went off about the wrestling, went back to basics, fundamentals of the show, sprinkled in a bit of what went on this week with you and stuff like that. I think that this is the way to do the show going forward.
I agree.
And I hope you guys appreciated it. We'll see you next week.
See everyone next week right here on Smark Guys. Peace out, everyone. Have a good night.